Wah.
We are live.
Wah. Wah.
Hello and welcome to the
61st.
61st. Hello and welcome to the 61st episode of the Destiny Community Podcast, brought to you by Blue Microphones and Headphones and Scuff Gaming Controllers. This week we have a lot to talk about, so go ahead and introduce our guest. Get on that interview. Hey!
Wow, you know what, Patrick? I really appreciate that intro. That's quality.
You're fucking it up by not immediately
so much energy.
No, I'm not messing it up. I'm just saying thank you.
Okay.
Miss Daniels, how are you?
So good. So happy to be here.
This evening we have Sarah Daniels on the podcast, a Twitch streamer and a actress.
Yes.
So that's awesome. Obviously, a lot of Twitch streamers feel like they're performing in front of their audience, but you take this and you go other places with it. What other type of work do you do?
Well, I mostly do musical theater. I just got back from doing a run of the show Mamma Mia, which I played Sophie in Phoenix, which was super fun. And during the day while I wasn't in the show, I was streaming. So I would stream for 7 hours, go to the show, do Mamma Mia, come home, sleep, get up, do it all again.
Definitely warmed up. Definitely warmed up by the time the show comes around.
Oh, absolutely. People were like, aren't you exhausted? I was like, well, I'm just going and playing Sophie and running around in overalls trying to find my dad. So it's pretty great.
So musical theater. So you can sing?
Yes.
That's
yes,
awesome. Do you ever record anything?
One.
Do you need a audio producer, so a music producer, anything?
We got one that edits the podcast. He's pretty good.
We also have one that's on the show. That's pretty good.
Oh.
There has been times where a record or two has been produced.
Mm-hmm. You know, maybe you'll have to do mine. My Destiny record. I actually wrote a parody song about trials in year 3 in Destiny 1, and I just never had the time to record it, but it was pretty funny, and I'm proud of it and ashamed that I didn't get it out before Destiny 1 was like done, you know? It's a bummer. Someday.
Destiny 1 is still relevant.
Sure.
My dog.
It actually is.
The second the podcast goes live, my dog wants to get out the door. All right. So you do musical theater. Is it something you went to school for? Is that something that you've always had an ear for, an eye for, or something that just happened?
Well, I started dancing when I was 3, and when I was 8, I did my first professional ballet. So I grew up.
Wait! You started dancing when you were 3. Like at 3 years old,
casually toss that one out there.
That's like children in front of the speaker going like this. I mean, or are you talking about like legit like dance classes?
Legit. When I was 8, I did my first professional ballet where I got paid. And when I was 13, I did the national tour of Bear in the Big Blue House live as a singer, dancer, actor.
Awesome.
So I've always just been performing nonstop constantly since I basically came out of the womb. Twitch is a normal medium for you. Like this isn't abnormal for you to be in front of a camera and to have an audience and be Is it strange to interact with that audience? Because in musical theater, you're not really interacting with your audience like you do on Twitch. True. So in the midst of all that, once I came off tour, a couple years later, I started working at Disney as a princess. So that was being one-on-one with guests up close. So I think that kind of prepared me for streaming, because the things people say to you as a princess, you would never believe.
Like what?
Let's hear this.
So, there's a lot of different things, but kids are insane. Kids say whatever they want. They're like trolls in chat rooms. They will just say anything. They don't care. They'll just say whatever. So one time I have to mime it because it's not funny unless I mime it. So I was Ariel and I'm on Disney Cruise Line, and this kid walks up to me and she goes, "Ariel, where do you poop from?" and I was like, "Oh," and she was like, where do you, she kept doing this squat thing. "Where do you poop from?" And I was like, the flounder, I gotta go. It was so funny. She just kept squatting at me, just trying to describe what she was trying to say. It was so good. That was one of my favorites.
I gotta admit, when I was younger, and I'm playing with my G.I. Joes, I'm like, where do they poop from? You're
like, as a mermaid, you're like,
Where? You're like a fish. What happens?
I know.
Seahorses, I'd assume. I don't
exactly. I said, I remember saying, just like you. Anyway, let's talk about something else.
I can only imagine, like, there's also those creepy guys that walk up to you as a princess and go, like, you know, you're in my dreams. Like, the worst pickup lines in the world, I bet.
Oh, my. Yeah, some people would just tell you their hotel room number.
Oh.
They were staying at.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So that wasn't great. And, like, I was Tinkerbell for a long time. Before I was a singer at Disney, I did, like, meet and greets. And as Tinkerbell, you're in, like, this, and, like, that's it. So, you know, people are just like, hoo. And you're like, no.
Don't do that to Tinkerbell.
No.
So you were definitely prepared for the influx of
the internet.
The internet, right?
Yes.
Right? Great.
Yes.
So awesome. And you stream PvP, PvE. What's your poison?
My poison is PvE. I basically never play PvP. The only time I ever played with Watts was actually PvP. And I remember just being like, what? How does you kill so many mans? And I'm like, run away. But I always play PvE.
It's not just you saying that, watching Watts. It's pretty much
literally everyone.
Literally, I don't play with her because I don't want to feel bad about myself. So,
Hope you do great. Okay.
So you've got a PvE. You do raid helps. Is Destiny how you started the game of Destiny? How you started streaming, or did you start on another game?
Yeah, Destiny really is what got me started. I've always been an RPG player. So growing up, I played Zeldas, I played Final Fantasies, games of that nature. And then when Destiny came out, people were like, you'd love this. If you love Skyrim, you'd love Destiny. And I was like, I just don't get it. It's a shooter. I've never played a shooter. So I started playing Destiny and I loved it, but I was very casual until I started streaming. I didn't raid until my first stream, which was in April of 2016. And it was so crazy. People just coming in like, I'd love to help you through a raid. And so I just started no-lifing raids. And that's what I do now. Just no-lifing raids constantly.
Well, then let me ask you, rank your top 3 raids in Destiny 1 and 2.
King's Fall, number 1.
Okay.
Interesting.
Love King's Fall.
I'm gonna want to know why they're your favorites. So King's Fall.
Okay. For me, King's Fall I love the lore. I love the feeling that you're like really going into where Oryx lives and like screwing his life up. That's how it feels. And you go into like Golgi's chamber and it's just so like gross and like and I just love it. I love that raid. And I love that it's challenging. The challenges are tough. It's really fun to teach. It was the first raid I ever learned like that I could teach. Like I could teach all the positions except for Relic Runner. I could never teach Relic Runner because I never did it. But Relic Runner is pretty easy. You just run around and jump down, kill stuff. But I love King's Fall. So King's Fall, number 1. Number 2, I have to say, people might not agree with me, but Leviathan I love. I have so much fun doing that raid. I love Leviathan. Like even against King's Fall, I was like, this is awesome. I love the mechanic of the opening doors. I love that there can't be a carry. Like people call them raid carries, and I'm like, honey, everybody has to do something. Like no one can just stand there. No one can stand there. Everybody has to be taught. And I love that about the raid. And I think it's beautiful. And I love, even though Prestige does not give enough rewards, I do like the shiny armor. It makes me feel fancy, so I like it.
And you completed Prestige.
Yes. Good. Yes. I have a full set of Titan armor. And it makes me sad because I need it on my
hunter. That's your main? You're a Titan main?
No! I am like Destiny 2 is killing me because everybody has pulse nades, but hunters just don't. And it's so sad. And I'm like trying to find ways to like the hunter in Destiny 2 again. And I tried.
The universe is telling you the Titans are the best. I understand that.
I don't know. It's so tough. My body hurts. But I would say I'm a hunter main in my soul, and I'm just trying to get better in Destiny 2 at being a hunter.
All right, instead of number 3.
Okay. This is tough for me because I think Wrath of the Machine is amazing. I think it's a really well done raid. I like the lore. I think that it's tough. I think the challenges are tough. I think it's really cool, but I had a lot of bad experiences trying to run it in Destiny 1. It was a tough raid for me. So for me, number 3 ties between Vault and Wrath. I think Vault is incredibly well done, and I'd love to do it, and it can be completed so quickly. But I think Wrath has an amazing story, and I love the way it's set up, like King's Fall, you know?
So what do you think about people who say Vault is like the best, the quintessential raiding experience that Destiny's created, and all other raids can't come close to it? You know, you started raiding later, and there was already all these raids. So a lot of people I've noticed have a different perspective when they go and do Vault after they've done, say, like King's Fall and Wrath and Leviathan and all that. Then they come back to Vault, and they're like, I don't know why people love this raid so much. It's pretty bland.
I am on that side of the coin more than I am it's the best raid ever because I came in later. Just what you said. I think that it's a lot of easy mechanics. It's a lot of like shoot stuff and go to the next thing. So I mean like King's Fall is a lot of like you have to stand on the platform, you have to do things in a certain order, you have to like move, you have to go on the thing, you have to come out of the thing. Like it's a whole situation. But Vault is like shoot stuff.
You prefer mechanic heavy.
Yes.
You know, cooperation, coordination, communication.
Yes.
Everybody's got a job.
Yes. Because you could totally carry someone through Vault, even if it's challenged. It's like all they have to do is get in, shoot an oracle, and bounce.
Yeah.
That's
just bounce to orbit. We'll get you through the
the Gorgons.
Like the Gorgons, and then join us up on the other side. That doesn't you can't do that.
Yeah. But I do like the Vision of Confluence, so.
Oh yeah, VOG weapons. Let's be honest.
VOG weapons.
VOG weapons are top tier.
Yeah.
Well, we invited you on the podcast because we like your perspective on Destiny and your role with the PvE community and getting in, and the great community you have built up on your Twitch channel. There's a lot of stuff that's happened in Destiny 2 in this last week, and we are going to jump right into that. I don't know, Briar, kick it off.
You guys want to just start with the blog post, the
State
of the Destiny blog post?
There was a blog?
I have it up.
There was a blog?
Yes. We'll just let that lead
just
into
a short post.
Kind of everything.
Yeah, we'll be here for about an hour and a half.
Don't read it word by word. Can we please summarize some of the stuff?
We can try.
I can summarize the opening statement for you.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Right.
I have it written up per date things are going to be released. So I'll bring that up.
Okay. That's
nice. Okay.
Starting out, Luke Smith and Chris Barrett having a little opening statement here in the State of Destiny 2. They basically first off talk about, hey, we've been reading everything and we definitely agree communication's lacking. Like the exact phrase is, we've been reading some tough criticism about our lack of communication, and we agree we need to be more open. So then they just state that the rest of the stuff here is hopefully providing you a little bit of sense of what we plan on doing, what we plan on addressing. We'll talk about the podcast later, but they also kind of said there that
they definitely doubled down on that in the podcast.
They doubled down on that, and they also said none of this stuff is supposed to be like the one silver bullet that changes everything, that fixes everything.
The process.
It's a journey to the game that we and they want, right?
And they're listening. That's the communication that they're sending.
I think the other thing from the podcast was that we're listening, but I think at this point you guys don't want to hear that. You want to actually see what we're doing.
Yes.
So if you're at this point in the podcast and you have read the blog but have not listened to the Bungie podcast, I recommend that you listen to that. It's extremely helpful to understand the.
Okay, 1 second, guys. I got to go listen to the podcast. I'll be right back.
All right. We'll wait.
Yeah.
We'll wait.
I didn't listen to the podcast either, so.
Oh my goodness, it's definitely important to understand the perspective of on the development side.
Yeah, of course.
I thought it was very good.
All right, so we'll start off with December 5th. They broke down everything in what's coming in the blog by the date it's coming. Some stuff is coming December 5th when the DLC, the Curse of Osiris DLC comes. Some stuff is coming December 12th, a week later. And then some stuff is coming in an update in January or later than that. So we'll start off with December 5th. The first thing is armor ornaments will be added to some existing armor sets for more visual customization without losing your shaders or mods. So this includes Vanguard, Crucible, Trials of the Nine, Iron Banner, Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, New Monarchy, and Eater of Worlds raid lair armor. And basically, you're going to be able to keep the armor you have and get more armor, like more of the same set of armor. But now there will be ornaments that you can earn.
Things that you work towards.
And you do it through quests. Well, through like a mission thing, right? Because they showed a picture where it was like, get 25 wins in Iron Banner, and that unlocked the ornament for you. So you're going to have like mission quest thingies for each of those sets of armor.
You don't have to actually get missions or quests. It's just like
it's on the armor.
It's like
it's on the data. Armor itself. Yeah.
It'll work kind of like the achievement books in Destiny 1 where it just kind of silently tracks it behind the scenes.
I hope it's a little bit more advanced than just get wins in Iron Banner. You know, like
I hope there's more specific things.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Like challenges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like an actual challenge type of thing, especially in the raid for ornaments and all that.
I'm sure with the raid, it's going to be that way with challenges. Mm-hmm. I just hope that it looks as crispy as like the Crota ornaments did. Like, I just remember that
good.
Titan.
Those are cool.
Like, you looked like a raid boss. It was amazing.
Yeah.
They look pretty good.
I love those. I'm really excited about this.
I think this is definitely a good change of, or it's really nice to see this because it's one, we've talked about it, the community's talked, everyone's kind of talked about. We want ornaments, but we don't want it to just be like Eververse related or we ran the raid. Now we got a token that we can apply to anything. It's like you have something to work towards, which is, I think everyone can kind of agree that's something that the game desperately needs right now.
Mm-hmm. It's something that I've wanted, and this is definitely them being like, oh hey, here's a thing that you can look exactly what you need to get, you can work towards it, and you'll get this cool thing at the end that shows what you do. Like if you're a raider and you have the full set, you will be able to show that that's what you do. Plus, it doesn't last going from one season to the other, right? They talked about that before.
Yes.
So that's super exciting because going into the next season, other people won't have that armor that you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did they confirm that like this season 2 ornaments are just for season 2?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's really cool.
I think that was back during the like TwitchCon stream.
Yeah, it was the TwitchCon.
I love that.
I think it's important to note that, because some of the criticisms I saw to this is that these kind of items are cosmetic items, and that Bungie, why are you talking about these cosmetic items when there's more visceral problems to the game? I think that when we're discussing these changes,
why don't we save a summary till the end?
I'm not summarizing anything. All I'm saying is that while we're discussing these, it's important to note that these are referencing different audiences of the game.
Yeah.
That there's a multifaceted audience. Okay.
It's a complex problem, essentially.
It's a complex problem.
Next up, Banshee has some updates on weapon and armor mods. Basically, mods are going to change in that you can now turn in rare mods to Banshee to get legendary, or to
have a chance at getting legendary.
Chance to get legendary quality mods. And you also be able to purchase specific mods that he sells, and his inventory will rotate. So you can buy specific mods. And the mod they showed, which is always the mod that I hear people looking for, is the kinetic mod.
Right.
You know, like people are always looking for kinetic mods. So I think that's somewhat of a good thing, because the mod system is definitely broken, and this doesn't fix it, but it does allow you to kind of disregard blues. So you can just turn in your blues and then kind of focus on just the legendary mods that you actually want, because blues are basically worthless. You're just holding on to them to get 3 of them so you can make a legendary.
I like that change. It's a quality of life change.
It's right. It's a small quality of life change. There's still an issue of mods just not being that interesting, and they need to find a way to make it deeper. But I mean, it's a good quality of life change. So,
which speaking of, they said that January they're targeting a more impactful mod system, right?
Yeah,
right.
And the important thing about this is that, yes, it doesn't fix it. Everyone knows that this doesn't fix the big issue. But if this system is in place, when they actually do fix said issue, good.
I like that. And in a way, in an off way, this sort of addresses one of my issues, which is vault space.
Mm-hmm.
I am in. Briar, it does a little bit. Okay.
Not when you have all the legendaries.
It helps a little bit.
It helps a little bit. I have 40 or 30 blue mods in my in my space that fill up. Right.
That's incredibly frustrating because you get mods when you're out on patrol or doing whatever. They go into your postmaster, but you can't. You just
sit there forever.
Yeah, it takes 10, 15 minutes worth of work to just pull them out of there.
Being able to get rid of them.
But it doesn't help with the vault space for shaders, which is fucking ridiculous. It doesn't help with the vault space for legendary armor and weapons, which I can't believe we're talking about right now. I mean, it does help a little bit with mods, but a little bit, I think, is the right.
With the mods, I'm just glad that they acknowledge that the mod system could have been so much more and that they're taking a step in the right direction to try to fix it. Even though this is not the end of the fixing, it's a step.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And I think that's the biggest thing is like anytime we're saying, I like this change or this is a good change. It's not any of us being like, this is a change that now makes Destiny the game that I've always wanted. It's just, this change is good. It's going in a direction that I like.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the time when you're like, I like this change, they're like, oh, so everything's better now? I'm like,
no, but they're listening, and we're happy that they're listening to us.
Yeah.
That's all
and changes are coming. They're coming on December 5th, and they're coming a week later, then they're coming in January. It seems like we're getting more frequent updates to fix this.
A culmination of like 3 to 6 months worth of updates in this kind of fashion is going to make it a much better game for people who want to like actually grind it. As it is right now.
Next time, I want to move through this list a little faster, guys. Let's save the overall summaries till the end here.
Well, Master Rahul, but Briar, it's kind of hard to get into those summaries though until because it's a topical, Like
I hear you.
For instance, the impactful mods. I kind of want to talk about that just a little bit. Like they need to make a system that's going to really entice people to want to hunt mods. Because as it is right now, you could completely care less unless you're trying to hit 305, and once you hit 305. You basically don't pay attention to the mods anymore.
This doesn't address that 100%. At all.
Right.
What this addresses is basically just you are now able to disregard blue mods altogether. You save the kinetic ones if you want to because they're not going to always be for sale from Rahul. But for the most part, you can just turn in all your blues and just save that vault space.
Right. But what we need
it doesn't actually address the quality of mods.
And hopefully they can legitimately deliver that in January.
Destiny 2 came out.
I hope so.
Hopefully January we actually get it. That's what I'm saying.
Next up, Master Rahul will sell some of his rumored hoard of legendary engrams for legendary shards. So you'll be able to actually purchase legendary engrams directly from Master Rahul for legendary shards. Legendary shards are going to get used in a bunch of spots.
That's kind of what we did with legendary marks, right? You could buy like an engram. And
exactly like Destiny 1.
And what are we gonna get from his rumored
world mod?
Board?
All right, it's a world legendary. That's why I assumed it was.
So let's talk about who. I'm just gonna ask you a question. Who is this helping? What audience? Right. So if you are, how many legendary shards do you have? I have over 2,000.
Same. I got 2,000 on PC.
Okay. So don't you already have all the legendaries by now?
I'm missing Antiope.
Okay.
Oh, I just got mine today.
No
Did you?
way.
Congratulations. Yeah. I still don't have mine.
Thank you.
Good job.
So I think this is a good quality of life thing, or a good decision. It doesn't really hit the mark because the people that it's benefiting aren't chasing anything.
Right.
Well, some people are chasing some things. In the game. Like
I literally just got an Antiope today. I mean,
besides Antiope, I mean, really, there aren't that many guns that people are chasing.
But
Better Devils is a popular one that I hear a lot of people chasing. Okay. The Minuet, I hear a lot of people chasing.
Yeah, but the part of that engram thing, though, for Rahul is that they're adding the Masterwork stuff, which is then going to drop potentially from those engrams as well.
Yeah, that's a big part, too. The Masterwork thing we'll get to later. Another thing coming December 5th is they're changing reputation tokens. I am going to go through this list because it's fairly in depth. Daily changes will have reputation token awards increased across the boards. Caged treasure chests will still offer variable rewards, but now guarantee at minimum a payout of destination appropriate reputation tokens. Strikes will drop a larger number of Vanguard reputation tokens. Common quality destination resource tokens will have their drop rates increased to 100%, and values per token increased as well, 50% for common green ones and 250 for rare blue ones. On the balance, though, reputation required per reward engram will increase for destination factions 37% and gunsmith 50%, and Leviathan raid tokens will be redeemed at Benedict immediately upon obtaining a token instead of requiring a full clear before unlocking. So mainly, you're just going to get more tokens. Things are going to cost more, but you are going to get more tokens.
It's a bit of a weird change,
so many
right?
raid tokens. So many.
I mean,
It's like, here's more tokens, but it takes longer to get stuff.
The package.
So they talk about the fact that they know they heard us. They heard us about this token thing. Mm-hmm. They've heard us. But it feels like, at least here, they're sort of doubling down on it.
A bit.
It's weird, right? Because it's like, I don't really understand the change, because it's like, yeah, I'm getting more tokens, but it's taking me longer. So what's really the point?
Well, like the cage treasure chest thing.
The Kate thing, yeah.
That makes sense. Strike's getting more rewarding. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about the destination resource tokens. That was already very rewarding.
No. Oh wait.
No?
Well, one thing they are updating is like the little plants or whatever the hell you pick up.
Oh yeah,
those things are going to reward you more, because right now they basically reward nothing.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
The only time I pick those up is when there's a planetary quest to do so.
The other thing though is that if you're getting more tokens, they are used for buying stuff from vendors. At the same time. So
that's true.
It's not all about the turn-ins anymore. This other system is getting added to buy stuff.
Yeah, they're legitimately becoming a currency now to acquire gear.
Yeah.
Sure.
Those are all the changes that are coming December 5th with the
DLC.
The day the DLC drops. December 12th, the week after, we get some other changes. One of those is the Masterwork Weapons are going to get released. They have a few differences over legendaries. It's the same weapons as legendaries, but they have a few differences. They track and display the number of kills with that weapon. They generate orbs for you and your allies on multi-kills. And they add a weapon stat bonus that's selected randomly from a small pool and is re-rollable.
There's your random weapon rolls, guys.
Yes.
Random rolls.
Yeah, they're really trying with that one to make it like random rolls, even though
It's like,
mods could be
right?
that.
It's like,
Masterwork Weapons will drop from any source of legendary weapons for characters above 250. And unwanted Masterworks can be dismantled into materials that can upgrade an existing legendary weapon into a Masterwork. So if you remember back in House of Wolves where you could upgrade your old weapons to current light level, we're going to have a similar system to that. So this might have been what Luke Smith was talking about, where does it become interesting to see the same role again? Raid and Trials of the 9 weapons will have a very high chance to be Masterwork.
So it feels like just a separate mod slot. You know, they like secondary mods with that to get a new title, and they put it into a different slot and are not trying to put these in the mod slot by himself.
So it's not a mod though; it's a stat, right? It's one of the stats
like reload, stability, handling,
impact.
Right, but that could be
in there.
That could easily be a mod.
It's another word. It's another word for mod. Yeah. Modification to the gun, but what I'm concerned about is that they're giving the Masterwork weapon upgrade. Would be a good idea if there was another 15 versions of it.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean 15?
Well, so what I see here is a great option for PvE players that want to get a gun and rank it up to Masterworks and get that Masterworks token and hit it up and use that gun to get more orbs for your teammates. Great. Mm-hmm. We need another 15 of those that do different things.
I see what you mean.
Oh, you mean specifically that generate orbs for your allies?
That do other things besides just generate orbs. But
you're talking
for your
about
allies.
That slot specifically.
That slot needs to be called. There needs to be 15 different things that one of them. This one's called Masterworks, right?
Yeah.
Cool. It produces orbs. There needs to be another one called Fasterworks. I don't know, but it needs to be varied, and it needs to be more of it. Because if that's the only option we have for that slot, I'm concerned.
They did say that this is the groundwork, the beginning,
I agree.
And it's going to evolve over time. And
I also want to expand it to other gear like armor.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd say as a beginning, it's a good start. I'll definitely it'll increase the chase because it means that every legendary that you like, you will then want to make it become a masterwork, and it even like looks a little bit different on the emblem by the thing that they showed. It looks like it has the masterwork quilt work on it, which I think is cool.
And the kill count, which I like a lot.
Kill count's cool.
Yeah, I would have preferred if it was a KD, like if it was a selectable thing like KD. Like imagine if you could see your KD with a weapon.
So they said that they're in the future that they're going to put different stats on there. They just, it's not ready yet. So they might. It's potential that they might actually.
It's just this is just the very beginning, right? It's the very beginning of it.
I'm hoping that I'm hoping that this is an example of how that slot will be used, and that we will see a large majority. Like this is what we were talking about, Briar. This is what we were talking about when we decided we wanted like mods to affect the different elements of PvE versus PvP and make you feel fantastic in PvE. This is where they could do that.
Yeah, it's true. The only thing that kind of bugs me about this is that they want to make it a random drop. And this would be so perfect to put in and say, if you get 1,000 kills with this gun, you get like this level of masterwork. You know,
I was thinking the same thing.
And then once the masterwork is unlocked, then you have to get this many kills to get this part of it and all that. But instead, they made it a random drop, or the gun might drop with the masterwork. And I was like,
that's right.
So close,
but
not there.
Yeah. Almost, yeah.
That would have been so good because then it's a way of showing like this is my favorite gun. This is how much time I put into it. It makes the gun mean more to you. It's so close.
Yeah,
it's that Call of Duty like prestiging a weapon.
Right.
Kinda.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. And you like Uriel's Gift? Yeah. You play PvE?
You
awesome.
scumbag.
Let's. There is absolutely Uriel's Gift in PvE is amazing. How do I know that you like that gun? Because you've got this thing master crafted up to the yiz.
Yeah, master rank 5.
You are master rank 6, and you got like 5, and you got like You got stuff.
It would also give the ability for everybody that wants something to grind for, that is looking for those things, to be able to like, okay, I'm going to get all my weapons to master rank, whatever.
Right. Yeah, even though it's like, it's not a crazy significant thing to do. It's a thing to do.
It's a thing.
There's a lot of people who play games for years, and you want to get all of your characters to this level, all of your guns to this level. It's just another thing to strive for, to work towards, to keep you playing.
Correct.
If you get every auto rifle in the game to Masterworks, right? You get
Callus comes down and gives you a high five.
You get an opportunity to distinguish your gun with a shader or an ornament that you can put on it that signifies that you've been able to get your gun to that rank.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If it's just going to drop anywhere that a legendary weapon can drop, it's going to very quickly get all the weapons that you care about up to Masterworks, and you're going to be done with this.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Nothing more to grind for.
The one thing I do like that they said raid and trials will have higher chances of being Masterwork weapons. So I like that does give you an incentive to run raid and trials even more so. Right now,
depending on the rarity, right? Like if they're rare, you remember when we were doing, was it Ascendant tokens? Was that what they were called in House of Wolves when we were bringing you're bringing our VOG weapons up to current level and
an ascend to your weapon,
yeah. Those were rare, and you had to run high end activities, and there were only so many of them available per week.
You could only get like 6 or something per week
for a number of weeks. Like you were really grinded. You were grinding Prison of Elders. You were grinding Trials of Osiris, and I think you're grinding the raid to get them. Is that right? I don't remember. There's a certain amount you could get, but it was fun because you were on that grind trying to get those weapons ascended. It would have been fun to have that grind put in here. Like if these are going to just drop while you're out on patrol randomly, you're so quickly going to get all of them.
If everything can drop, it entirely depends on that drop rate.
It does. Yep.
And I mean, eventually, the people that play the most are just going to get the weapons they want Masterwork to be Masterwork, because all the activities that they can run you can just dismantle whatever Masterworks you don't want to make the weapons that you do want.
Exactly.
Masterworks.
That's what everybody's going to do right off the bat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm very excited.
We're trying to create opportunities for the game to grow, right?
Yeah,
right.
I'm very excited that they're actually expanding this stuff and looking at these type of things to evolve weapons, because this is kind of the first time seeing things like legendaries that are out in the wild that are going to get some sort of evolution. So that's great. I just really wish they would allow some investment opportunities in your gear, because that's really what we're missing.
Yeah. December 12th, also, we're getting faction armor and weapons that'll be unlocked for purchase for legendary shards and faction tokens on most faction vendors. So all of the armor will be available for purchase from the vendors, and the weapons will rotate weekly on the factions that have them. Slots will be unlocked by claiming reward engrams from the respective faction, and you'll get credit for engrams you may have already claimed since launch. So, for instance, if you're playing Iron Banner, you might have to get 5 wins to unlock the boots, 10 wins to unlock the gauntlets, 15 wins to unlock the chest, 20 wins to unlock the helmet, and 25 wins to unlock the class item. But once they're unlocked, you can purchase any of them. So it takes RNG out of it. You don't have to just rely on turning in tokens, getting engrams, and hoping for that one last drop that you need to complete your set. Now you'll be able to work toward it and know that you're going to get it if you work hard enough.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for with raids the whole time. You know, like RNG was giving me like 70 mob justices. All I wanted to do was buy something other than a mob justice.
Why would you want anything besides mob justice?
Yeah. Why are you hating on
That's
mob
a great
justice?
question.
Gosh.
Just wait until your clan gives it to you, right, Tefty?
Yeah. Sins of the clan engram, man.
I know it well. It just like seems like with the tokens, when it's set up like a shop, that makes more sense. The random RNG of the tokens is like, what are you doing to me? I'm grinding these tokens that I don't get to pick. Why?
That's true.
Again, though, this is a system we had in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just with a lot more currencies. Way more currencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But less like a gift shop, kind of.
Yeah, I definitely do like once you get to the rank where you can buy the weapon. If you haven't gotten the weapon yet, you can just wait for it to come up, so you don't have to go do Crucible or whatever ever again. Because it's like the one thing I hear the most. I hate doing Crucible. I don't blame you right now. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to grind an activity that you don't like just to get the best weapon in the game. Better Devils.
Butter devils.
Xur has some new offerings for players collecting exotics. Basically, 3 coins are coming back.
Here we go.
They shouldn't have called it 3 coins, guys. They should have called it something else.
For 4 of pennies.
Fate of the 9.
4 of tokens.
Yep.
You'll be able to purchase faded engrams from Xur. Faded engrams are kind of neat because they're guaranteed to give you a exotic that you don't currently have. So if you're really waiting for that boop cannon, you can make sure you get it.
So
come on.
It does cost 97 legendary shards.
Oh, okay. It costs 97 legendary shards, whatever. So the one thing that we've kind of been complaining about is everything from this update feels like it's throwing even more loot at you quicker now. And especially with exotics, because later on, we haven't gotten to that section yet, but they will be introducing exotic duplicate protection. That's great. I think that's a big thing that we've asked for. Problem is, all these things that they're adding to Xur will make that grind even less than it already is right now.
And you get exotics so fast already.
It is so easy to get them just by like grinding public events. You can get, about just 1 hour.
The game, man.
Just turn on the game and you have exotics.
It's like exotics drop easily in the game.
They do. They really do.
This goes, I got to bring up the podcast, because during the podcast, they had this long conversation about they saw Destiny as 3 different kinds of players, right? They saw the tourists, which are like the players who come in for a week, they'll play the story and take off, right? Mm-hmm. They want to check out some of the exotics. They want to check out the story. Maybe they'll raid once and then they're gone, right? They're off to another game. There's like the intermediate players who will kind of be here for a while. Maybe they'll come back for every DLC, but for the most part, they're just here for like the big releases. And then there's the hobbyists. That's people like us. There's people like in our chat. And they said that they made a bet. They tailored the game toward the tourists, and they kind of neglected the hobbyists. But most of the updates I see here are kind of still doing that.
Yeah.
right? Like they talked a good game on that podcast, but when I'm actually looking at these notes, am I seeing anything for the hobbyists here?
You're seeing bits and pieces that are for one of the less invested time hobbyists, still a hobbyist, but doesn't put as much time as the more advanced hobbyists.
I agree, Briar. You see them trying to get some low-hanging fruit for the hardcore player here, but
it's very small.
It's very small, and then when you start scratching a little deeper, it feels like some of the changes that they made are giving us opportunities to get loot, but not. We already have like.
But
we don't need to get the exotics easier, man. Yeah. I mean, I got 2,000 legendary shards. They could charge 200 a 500 and 8 faded engram, and it wouldn't matter. I've already got every exotic. What you need is the opportunity to earn that exotic in a way that is challenging.
Like a call to arms for Xur.
Something that you have to work towards.
Yeah, because right now the only thing that we've seen, at least in this update that they've talked about, is really the ornament stuff coming in there, and
that's why I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, it's something to grind for.
That's a big bet if the player
Masterwork,
likes
I think,
the cosmetic
is along that
thing.
line too.
Masterwork is definitely along the lines, for sure.
It's definitely along those lines, but I feel like with the ornaments, that's kind of more what I was looking for, like more in that direction of completing specific activities, doing specific things to unlock that, and then being able to outwardly show, like, you're a Trials player, you're a Raid player, you're a Crucible, you're a Vanguard, whatever.
I was a little upset to see the 3 coins was coming back, because it's not. Yeah. It was a system that I didn't like in Destiny 1. I thought it was just monotonous. I mean, if you want to give us more exotics, fine. Just give us more exotics. Yeah, don't make me fucking pop a coin.
Yeah.
Like every time I sell a health bar enemy. And they changed it a little bit. Now you don't have to pop it every time you kill an enemy or do a complete a Crucible match. It lasts for 4 hours. But like if you want to just give us more, like adjust the exotic drop rate to be what you want to. Don't make us like.
So hold on, Poe. I think the problem is, as hardcore players, we get the exotics really fast, and there is no chase. And what we're looking for is a chase or things to grind for. And in the past, exotics were those things that we grinded for. Like I spent a whole year almost trying to get a Gallahorn, and then I finally got it, and it was an exhilarating moment. And we're looking for that again. And they don't want forums and LFGs being filled with, if you ain't got no Gallahorn, get out of my team.
Well, they took care of that when they didn't make a Gallahorn equivalent weapon. I guess
they did. They did that.
As close as you could get.
They did that, but they also made it so exotics aren't really the main requirement for people to play together. Because I think that part of this taking the tourist/casual approach was that they didn't want those things to happen in the ecosystem, and unfortunately, you can't do that. It's just straight up, you can't do that. Like there's going to be those moments regardless. So we're looking at it as, why bring 3 a coin, because it reduces our chase for the exotics, but they're looking at it as, you're going to have the most of the exotics anyway, so this isn't for you guys. This is for people who casually play.
And so I think I want to add a point to this. When we look at the way that they're treating exotics in the game, and if their purpose of this update is to give us more, to the hardcore player, to the non, casual player, to the person that's making this the hobby, it's sad. Like, what's been a great opportunity is that during this time I've been playing other games, which never really happened. I always played Destiny. Every time I turned on my PlayStation, I played Destiny. But now I haven't been. I've been playing Fortnite. I've been playing Call of Duty. I've been playing all these other games. And what's great about that is that I'm getting exposed to systems that are done right, that are done better. And I hate to say that Call of Duty World at War has a better end game than fucking Destiny. How?
The RPG.
How is that possible? And I'm sitting here playing Call of Duty going, hey, I want to get that cool gun. I'm going to play through these classes. These are low-hanging fruit that they could put an exotic at the end of, hey, you got a hard light? Put it at the end of hey, you masterclass all these auto rifles. You now get this exotic auto rifle. Yeah. Give me something.
Something to work towards.
Yeah.
Something to work towards.
It's the investment.
All I want.
They
yeah,
took
something
out the
super
investment.
grindy. Just like something that you
And
can
it doesn't-
just know life forever.
Yeah.
That's what we miss. That's
It's
we're
what
missing
tokens
here.
should have been, right? It should have been that
Yeah.
you go through the raid once in a week and you get those end game rewards, right? You get the chest, it drops your rewards, and hey, all right. Then if you go through it again, maybe get some tokens. You go through it again, you keep working through it. Like that should have been the grind right there. But they use tokens as like the primary reward system, and now everything just feels unrewarding.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
But they're
I
making
hate
some
that
good
it's the
changes.
primary thing. They are.
Oh,
no,
now
they're
you got to
definitely
come
making-
in and be a shill, Pope. Come
No,
on now.
I'm just.
Be
Where's
more
your check,
like
Pope?
Patrick.
Show it
happy
on
with
screen.
the
How much you making from Bungie, Pope? Let's see it.
Oh man, I'm making.
Oh, I
I'm
totally.
making
Okay,
moves.
you just convinced
Where's
me.
that
Kathy, I am going to get a giant check right now.
Yo, a Bungie check? That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
No.
Next time,
man.
every time somebody calls me a shill, I'm just gonna.
They're
So I'm
making
the check.
they're making changes, and something that they talked about, and I know this is going to change what we have to talk about. We have a lot of things to talk about, but there is, on the Bungie podcast, they talked about how hard it is to change a game. And nobody wants to hear that, but it's the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It is not easy to change a game, and the changes that they want to make are going to take time.
Right.
That's a reality. So this
Yes,
first wave of changes are just that, a first wave.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like we always said, we don't just want a Band-Aid, right? And for it to stay like that the entire time. We want something that can get deeper. So I think a lot of this is, listen, this is our first iteration of it. It's going to get deeper. So I just hope it does. I hope it continues.
We're
Yeah,
trying
I'm
to
on
give
that
them
side of the
feedback.
coin as well. I'm on the
Yeah.
positive side where I'm like, you know what? They're listening. They're making some changes, small changes, sure, but they're a step in the right direction, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hopefully.
absolutely.
Next on the list, Commander Zavala and Lord Shaxx will sell gift consumables for legendary shards that can be used during a strike or crucible match
I like
that
this
will
idea.
serve the following functions. Yeah, I like this one too. Grant
Yeah.
bonus rewards to everyone in that activity upon completion, friend or foe alike. Award anything from faction tokens to a round of exotics for everyone in the match. The only problem I have with this is that motherfucker teabagging me all match. He gets an
Yes.
exotic too. Fuck that guy.
You popped
Fuck that
consumable, he bagged you, and then gets
They should-
a tractor
They
cannon?
should have called this the Oprah. You get an exotic, and you get. I don't think they should have put exotics in that list, but they should have.
Well,
I
again,
think it's
as
cool,
OG
though.
players, we're thinking exotics are like the top, and I don't think Bungie wants to like go that direction anymore. You know?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
They're more like niche things where
Yeah.
you do it because it does a specific thing or it's fun, but not something that's the most powerful.
Exactly. Yeah. It's cool that they're doing more options for spending your legendary shards. I like that.
I like this idea too, that you can kind of pop a consumable and everybody gets a. Like we've seen that before, right? We got the
Raids
fire
and
team
strikes.
medallions. Yeah, we've got all sorts of these things like over the years, and it's just fun. Like, hey, I popped the fire team medallion. Everybody's, oh, hey, thanks, man. Like it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It became
cool.
kind of a joke
Good.
at the end because you had so many, and I can't tell you how many times I was doing a strike, and somebody would pop a Vanguard medallion, a Crucible medallion. We had like the screen was being filled with all these people giving me like medallions. You've just been awarded. So it did.
Do you remember Grunt birthday party when you died
Man, that was my favorite.
in Halo? You could
Yeah.
select it, so when you died, it was a birthday party of a grunt explosion.
Well,
on it.
in
that's when
Halo,
you pop their head off. And
yeah,
like,
you shot the.
and all the,
it was to that, but you could also apply it in Reach. You could do it in PvP as well. So every time you died, it would be like, "Prah!" They should have consumables that you could purchase with legendary
love that.
shards
That
to
would be
like
awesome.
make a glitter explosion when you die in the Crucible.
Oh, man.
I love it.
I want to.
I
would
make
love
it
it.
rain.
Then
I
I'd
want
feel
to make
better
it
about
rain
dying.
legendary
Yeah.
shards, and then people can come and pick them up.
That'd be awesome.
Like
Be
when
like-
I die, I lose 10 legendary shards, and they fall on the ground, and then whoever
my.
kills me can pick them up. Yeah.
Yo.
I would never have legendary shards
They should be
ever
called-
in my life.
No, they should
It
be
would
called
be
wager
gone.
matches. Oh wait, that's Call of Duty. Never mind. So what if you had like legendary shards drop when you died in like competitive mode, and you could lose or gain, and you had to bet some? Oh yeah.
are there wager
Oh,
matches in
man.
World War II?
No.
See, the problem there, Pope, is that then there would be underground betting rings that would cause a trading system to develop if you did that in Destiny. And we can't have that.
No, it
Can't
wasn't.
have
Wager matches were amazing. In
They were
Call of
amazing.
Duty.
Wager matches
I love
were
Call of-
absolutely fantastic. They
Yeah.
were so good.
I like spending my legendary shards and things. Collectively, I probably have
now
like 5,000 or something. Yeah, let me gamble them.
Can they put poker in the game? We could just like go to probably the farm because no one goes to the farm. We go to the farm and we could sit around a poker table and we could bet legendary.
That would be amazing.
That's what I want.
You know how like you could
super fun actually.
Yeah, you could bet in Borderlands to see if you get like a gun out of the system, right?
Yes.
So many times I play single player games and spent most of my time just like playing the side games.
I want to play. I want to play a poker game with Cade.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
He totally cheats, man.
He's gonna host
no
it.
doubt.
Yeah, he's gonna cheat.
For sure.
Next up, exploit safeguards on chest and resource nodes are greatly relaxed, and players should encounter them less frequently. If they do, drop rates for tokens is only reduced to 30% instead of 0%, and Glimmer will be unaffected. And they said they wanted to associate a visual indicator with this in a future update, but we weren't able to pull this off in this update. This is good, right? I mean, if you want to go farming chests, go farm chests.
Yeah, get those tokens.
It's just, I just wish that they wouldn't do stuff like that in general. Like, if someone wants to just sit there and grind and farm chests all day, like, let them do it.
It's a grind. If that's what they like, let them do it.
Right? If I want to go into a lost sector and go through a doorway and then go back and farm that chest and then go through that doorway and then go back, like, how come that's in there? But this is limited.
Yeah.
So, the limiting things feels weird across the board for me. Like, just let people grind their heart out if they want to.
Yeah.
The problem is like, I mean, I get it. It's an anti-exploit thing, but so if you're just farming normally and you're still able to trigger that, they said it's been relaxed. It still might happen. You don't care what your percent is. If you don't get a token and your percent is still at like 70%, it's 0% when you don't get that token. You rolled the dice wrong. So,
didn't they make it though so it guarantees a token now, or is that just Cade's chess?
It's Cade's chess.
It's Cade, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm loving the token idea. I mean, never mind.
Last thing that'll be released with December 12th update is vendors will now beckon you to hand in your reputation tokens only when you're carrying enough to earn a reward. That's kind of nice.
The OCD
like
part
that.
of me,
Yeah,
The OCD part of me when I land in the tower and I see I want to like clear all the exclamation marks.
Oh, it's just OCD 100%. You're like, I just want to turn in my tokens and be done with these green diamonds above everyone's heads.
Even though I know it's not going to get me anything.
And I still go to them because I can't help it.
You'll do it. Can't help it.
Can't help it. Just got to do it.
All right. The next stuff is a list of things that are coming but do not have a date yet. Some of the stuff is going to come in a January update.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff is going to come after that. Yeah. They're going to give better incentives for players who complete challenging prestige activities. We're targeting a January update to provide better incentives to complete prestige activities.
Thank.
There is no reason to do prestige activities at all. Right?
No reason. You lose your friends and you get nothing.
That's true.
That's it.
We need prestige level mods. Prestige level mods in Masterwork items.
Oh, please.
That'd be cool.
It would be amazing.
Right?
I think they need to just not be afraid of allowing people who play the game a lot to have stuff that other people don't.
Yes.
Like, it's
we had
okay.
Luke Smith on the podcast, and we asked him, is it okay for there to be stuff in the game that some people just can't achieve? And he said yes. But in Destiny 2, there is nothing that you can't get.
Thanks to your clan.
This is from the casual player. I'm always the advocate of the casual player.
I'm sorry. Did you just call yourself a casual player with 2,000 shards?
Yes.
That's the reality, though.
It's the paternity leave, man.
Are you like working the tour that the tourists take? Poke, is this what this is?
He's actually local. I mean, technically, he's going on a tour every day.
Yeah,
he's like he's a rafting guide.
He's like one of the guys that lives
part time doesn't count.
He sees the celebrity tour every day.
I'm casual,
but he's still a tourist.
Compared to you guys, I'm casual.
You have more hours by a long shot in Destiny 2 than I have.
Maybe, but I'm more casual. Maybe. All I'm saying is that as the elected voice of the casual, it's
recall there being an election.
Wow. There was an election.
You're not allowed to give yourself your own nickname, Pope.
All I'm saying is that
if there is a process, a way to work towards something, a casual player is not going to have a problem with seeing somebody that's gotten through it faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not I never had a problem with it in like Call of Duty when I saw someone with a diamond gun or whatever. I'm like, okay, they played more than me.
That's
like,
right.
I'm going to work
towards it. For you. Yeah. I can do that too. Let me just do that.
Yeah, for me, it made me think I'm going to kill that person, pick up the weapon, look at this cool diamond skin, walk around with it, and then think, do I really want to invest the time? Probably not, but man, it's pretty cool looking, you know?
So, like, I get that, you know, they did a lot of stuff to appeal to the tourist type player. The person's going to play and drop it down. But isn't one of the benefits of being a tourist, sometimes you see an area that you go to and you like and you decide you want to move there? Kind of did it with Seattle here. I was a tourist, now I'm a resident. Yeah.
Because you liked what you saw.
Yeah, I liked what I saw, you know, a bunch of summers. Plus, and they're like, cool, I'd like to move here.
The check from Bungie could get there quicker since it's right next door.
It's like
you don't have to have it mailed to you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you just go pick it up.
Yeah, you can walk in.
Start getting that shit PayPal to you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, they have this little window on the outside of the building.
Wow.
You can just come up like it's like a methadone clinic.
A content
you just
creator
walk
window?
Up and they slide it out the content window.
Okay, yeah. Great.
Mine's a dead drop. They tape it under the mailbox down the street. It's like a dead drop. I put a candle in the window when it's time.
All right, nice.
I don't know. Like, I get it, but you can have so many tourist attractions in an area, but you got to build stuff for the people that are living there.
You do, because if you take it all away, it just comes into a tourist trap, and no one really wants to be there anyway. Everyone leaves. Yep.
That's right.
It's too touristy.
Exactly. Somalian pirates come in and hijack your ship.
It's okay. They can't do anything with it. It just sits there in the loading screen.
Next up, better rewards and replay value for Strikes, Adventures, and Lost Sector. In December, we'll be introducing a heroic strike playlist and more generous strike rewards, which is great. Rewards for Adventures and Lost Sectors are still on our radar, but will not be delivered for our December update. So it's on the radar, but they don't have an ETA for it.
Okay.
And then this goes in line with something that I think was really cool that they already announced, but the changes to being able to do strikes by yourself, right? That they want to be able to give us the opportunity of not having to do a strike with
in the Curse of Osiris story,
right?
Specifically,
right. But I thought that they talked about doing that change to all of the strike playlists. Is that not the case?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that, Pope.
Damn it! I was excited because I would have loved to be able to do strikes by myself.
That would have been.
I like to play alone as well.
You know, sometimes people suck.
You know, sometimes people basically play alone right now because all their friends left the game.
Yeah, that's also true.
Deep burn.
Ow.
Private matches for the Crucible.
Yeah.
Still targeting early 2018 and expect to have better insight to exact timing in the new year. We're also moving ranked PvP to the top of our priority list for next year to support the competitive community.
Honestly, this was the craziest thing because we've never heard Bungie ever acknowledge that they would ever do ranked.
Yeah.
Outside acknowledge the competitive community.
Right.
That's true. Acknowledge the competitive community.
They did.
There is one.
So that was just crazy to hear that. And we don't know any details of what the ranks would be like or what the game modes would be like, but just hearing them be like, ranks a thing we're going to work on, it's a top priority is insane. We've wanted that for so long.
The top of the priority list.
Yes.
The top.
That's for next year.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about peer-to-peer with high-level ranked play?
I feel like I'm going to get DDoSed a lot.
Yeah. Manipulated connections?
Yeah.
Shot around the wall.
What? We don't need that kind of negativity.
You're right, Pope. Check that negativity at the door.
We are getting ranked PvP. Booyah.
I think it's great that they're doing ranked. I think it's great that they're finally acknowledging it, that the community needs it, and so on and so forth. I think we all are 100% aware that there's some fundamental issues with the actual networking of the game when it comes to PvP. And as you get higher up the list, you know, I'm not one of those people, but I can imagine Lumi and Triple and so on and so forth connecting to people who are top level players, Watts, you know, to Italy and France and Brazil and America, like that. They're going to have restrictions. for that.
Maybe the ranks, like the top tier ranks, will be so far ahead of like the really good players that all the DDoSers will just play against each other.
But are you going to be okay with playing against somebody who's got a 500 millisecond ping and it's like a ranked match that's high level?
Not fun.
Right?
It's not fun. No.
It creates another level of salt for the Reddit community.
It does.
That's going to be like, whoa, what is up with this?
Well, maybe next year you can hope for that, but I don't think this year you can hope for dedicated servers.
I would love them to do something like what is is it Fortnite? It's Call of Duty. It's Call of Duty. They're in their ranked system, in their top tier system. They're doing that one section of it is servers.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. Okay. I know, that's what I'm getting. Like, it's like, do what Patrick does. Okay. Sorry.
That sounds ridiculous. That's not possible.
I mean,
we all should have purchased beanies for this episode.
Yes.
So we could truly become Patrick.
There you go.
I'll get my beanies so I can be more like Patrick. I'll be right back.
Look, the funny thing is in WoW, when we had like ranked battlegrounds or rated battlegrounds, DDoSing was still a thing, even though it was server based.
Yeah.
Hi, cat. There's a cat walking in front of the screen.
The other part of this that we kind of skipped over is private matches are coming back. You know, that's huge. Great. I mean, it was hugely disappointing that private matches weren't in Destiny 2 at launch, but they are coming back. The competitive community's got to be really psyched about that. I mean, assuming that they still even like playing Destiny 2 at all.
Yeah.
But I think that like the 1-2 punch of getting private matches back, you know, early 2018 and then ranked PvP sometime in 2018. I'm actually really excited about that. Yeah, Jeff, I hear you. You know, dedicated servers. I got it. It's not coming though, so let's put it on our Destiny 3 wish list. I am psyched to get ranked PvP.
Legitimately, I am too. I'm just like thinking about how the game operates right now, and I know that's going to be one of the fundamental things that people talk about once it gets out, unless they do make some changes, which is possible. I mean, a whole year could lead to some things that get changed, but I'd say for the competitive community, I think they've looked at the numbers and they've seen a huge exodus of people not wanting to play the PvP, and I think they're looking at it and saying we need to obviously make changes, and ranked is on the top. So I think it's good. That will bring people in.
Oh yeah, and the reason that there was DDoSing in ranked, even though it was on technically dedicated servers, basically once a player on the enemy team, like you knew who you're going up against, you had chatted with them enough in like Skype or Discord, or whatever, you had their IP address just on like a sheet, and they would DDoS.
Wow.
Oh, that's it's scummy. That's next level. Scummy.
It was shitty, and there was nothing that Blizzard would really do about it. So yeah.
Next up, Crucible Tuning, like adjusted supremacy scoring and better spawning rules. In December, we'll introduce additional updates and bug fixes intended to improve these areas of the Crucible. So
cool.
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 Nice.
I'm looking forward to the patch notes that will be coming.
Yeah, I was kind of. Weren't you expecting to see that yesterday?
I didn't expect that. I expected this. I expected like
sworn they were going to say sandbox stuff. Didn't they mention sandbox stuff?
I think I mean, Newski, John Wisniewski has been does sandbox type stuff, and he was going to be on the stream, so I think that's why we associated yesterday with sandbox type stuff. But I know they didn't include, or I feel like they didn't include it in this update because it was probably just going to be. There's already so much information to go through, so.
But yeah, they will be talking about it when Curse of Osiris hits.
Yeah, there'll be a patch note. There'll be full patch notes for us to go through. And not very far away. We're super close.
All right, let's
next week. Yep.
Better incentives for completing Crucible matches and penalties for quitting competitive games. A quitter penalty system is currently in development, and you can expect an update on the deployment of the system in the new year.
Great.
Cool. Yeah, we need it.
Continued improvements to Iron Banner and faction rallies, including uniqueness of rewards. Kind of talked about this a lot. So
yeah.
Changes to the mod economy to make the mod economy more interesting and impactful.
Impassable.
Is this an impassable mod?
We'll have some updates to how mods are required, and we're exploring more updates to the system in the new year. ongoing improvements to exotics, including adjustments to reduce instances of duplication. We plan to tune underperforming exotics and will continue to make targeted updates and improvements.
So a lot of them.
How much you want to make a bet Galahorn's coming back?
I think all exotics are coming
back. I would
back.
never bet against
OP.
that.
Let's
I'd
do
be surprised I'd be surprised if we don't get every single Destiny 1 exotic. I mean, they've already started that train rolling. Why wouldn't they?
I love paying for stuff I've already paid for 2 times already. It's great. Sorry.
But Pat, you're not paying for it, Patrick.
Pat, it should have been on release, man. It should have been here on release.
What do you mean they're giving it to you? I paid for the game.
No, they're giving it to you. It's coming in a DLC for free. They're adding it to the DLC.
Oh.
It wasn't originally going to be in the DLC, and then they added it for free.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like...
There you go. There you go.
We got all
some PlayStation exclusive type talk right there.
Yeah.
Patrick, I want to thank you for this new look.
Yeah,
it's a good look.
It's good.
I'm wearing my Scuff Gaming beanie right now.
A reminder: this podcast is brought to you by Scuff Gaming. You can use code DCP when ordering your Scuff Game controller, or do they get money off if they order a beanie so they can be like Pat?
Anything that they put
you need
DCP
a beanie,
on, we
Patrick,
get a piece
be
of
like
it.
Patrick.
Yeah,
that's what you need.
Hashtag,
to make a beanie.
Clearly.
Patrick is
and then
awesome.
we can all
he
wear
should
it.
Be more like Patrick.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more like Patrick right now.
You guys should be more like Patrick and wear a beanie. If you want to get a good beanie, Scuff Gaming, even though they sell controllers, also sell beanies. Code DCP get 5% off your beanie.
What would Patrick do?
What would Patrick do right now?
Patrick would go to scuffgaming.com and then go to apparel section and then select beanie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Patrick would sell the fuck out.
Yeah, you goddamn right I would.
Patrick is a sellout.
Be more like Patrick.
Does that qualify as the ad read, Patrick, or not?
What?
Does that qualify as the ad read, or do we have to?
For Scuff,
good.
Yeah. Keep going. All
right. There's going to be new ways to spend surplus currency and materials. We already talked about that.
Yep.
And the emote interface that we've talked about previously. You're going to be able to have more than one selectable emote available to you at all times, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's it. That was like the big stuff. Then they also did a kind of a follow-up podcast that we've referenced earlier. The podcast is interesting for a bunch of reasons. One of them is I thought that they had like a kind of apologetic tone throughout the entire podcast. They wanted to explain the decisions they made. They weren't trying to make excuses, just explanations about why Destiny is what it is. And they did a good job at that. They also went into the XP scaling system. Mm-hmm. They explained what happened there, their view of it. You can choose to believe what they said or not. They tended to suspect that you won't believe them.
Right. They're like, we expect people to call bullshit and not agree with us, but not believe us. But yeah.
But I would say that if you're interested in kind of finding out why Destiny 2 is the way it is and what they're thinking about moving forward, it's about 45 minutes and it's well worth your time.
It is well worth it. I mean, it's my second favorite. Well, it's my second favorite podcast.
It's my third favorite. Revolver Live, second favorite.
You got to get that plug in there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey, what would Patrick do? He'd sell the fuck out. Yeah.
Right.
Sell out your own podcast. There you go.
About to pimp that sponsorship.
I think it's really sponsorship if you whatever. I did want to talk about the XP thing because did we talk about it last week? How we suspected there was like a little bit of thing going on, and then like we had heard kind of rumblings about it, especially since the Clarion call was a complete failure. As far as events go, Queen's Wrath, you got kicked off. We got a new Queen's Wrath, and
that's
in my
lower
opinion,
than Queen's Wrath.
Dude, this is the
Queen's
new
Wrath
top
wasn't
tier.
That bad.
Yeah, look at this is the
true.
top tier worst event of Destiny, in my opinion. I mean, this is worse than Festival of the Cost, and it
wasn't even really an event. It was just double XP weekend, right? Which is like.
That's all they had to do was make it so you get double XP when playing with a friend. Like, that's literally all you had to do. but then it exposed the entire like XP system that was in there. The event itself was only like during the weekend, even though you got to pick the thing up during like Tuesday, but it wasn't active. That's why I was really confused, because I was like, okay, I can finally play on Monday, and oh, it's gone. It's not there. Okay, well, that's weird. Anyway, sorry, Clarion Call was a complete failure. It needs a massive reworking. Anyway, the XP system was basically, it was a throttle designed to say if you are earning XP too rapidly, it will scale it down. And it's also supposed to be if you're not earning it fast enough, it scales it up. Was that also in there? Oh, I like the beanie, Briar. Good job.
WWPD.
PS4 shill.
WWPD.
And
hey, Briar, what happens if we pull off Patrick better than Patrick pulls off Patrick? What's that?
Ooh,
I don't know. What would Patrick do then?
Patrick's
I don't know. What would Patrick do when Patrick's getting out Patricked?
Guys, I'm only at like 5% Patrick right now.
Oh, yeah. He's not fully realized Patrick yet. Wow.
There are multiple other levels of Patrick.
You know, Patrick's Super Saiyan.
There's many Patrick levels.
Yeah,
the XP.
You guys got to
thing,
have
man,
a really solid rant going on.
The XP thing just looks so fucking suspicious for so
shady.
Yeah,
it looks
reasons,
super
right?
shady.
Like, first of all,
shady.
It was tied to the Bright Engram system, which is Destiny's loot box. You know, it looks like, I mean, it slowed your progress down to the point where Bungie could say, okay, we'll give you a trickle, like a drug dealer. We'll give you a taste of the Bright Engram system just to kind of whet your appetite and get you hooked on these Bright Engrams. And, you know, like maybe you want that spicy ramen emote, or maybe you want that butt floss emote. You know, it's getting toward the end of the season. These things are going away.
The floss.
It's going away. You better get it now before it goes away.
Right?
Yeah, the one that goes,
Yeah, floss.
Oh, that one. I didn't know it was called butt floss. Sorry, my bad.
So it just looked so shady. And then, like it was getting talked about in the community. Mainly, really, this one guy on Reddit just did a ton of research and like figured it out. I wish I could remember his name.
Detail.
And then it got picked up by kind of like the bigger press outlets like Kotaku and, you know, like these big guys. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it got picked up, it got addressed and turned off by Bungie. Like a fucking light switch. Like their finger was on the switch waiting for this to happen. That's, to me, what made it so suspicious.
Yeah.
That, you know, and then they did explain how they had, you know, they were able to turn it off, but it was a risk. But man, it happened so fast. It was so suspicious. I really want to have faith in Bungie, and you know, I want to think of them as like good guys and, you know, like friends and stuff. But good God, that was fucking shady.
It was really bad. It looked really bad, and I know a lot of those guys personally, and it's really hard to like be a person living in the world today and not have a suspicious part of you that goes, you know.
Yeah, you know.
You know.
Mm-hmm. And the main thing. Okay, so they stated in the statement at the end. I like the new hipster look, Tefty. He's got the scarf on as well as a beanie.
I was like,
what?
Scarf.
I'll be right back.
Come on.
That's
oh,
good.
Lord.
There we go. Like so.
That's good. So the main problem is that, in my opinion, yes, we had the system there. Also, the biggest part is they didn't tell you that it was there. This, in my opinion, is on the exact same level as skill-based matchmaking when it was originally introduced, because it wasn't there. There was no communication.
It was like that, except it was traceable to making them money.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's
so
what
it's
makes you go, what are you doing?
It was so closely connected to the Bright Engram system. That's what was so.
It was like, what are you? Why are you? What is happening?
How do you wear a beanie? How do you wear a scarf, Patrick?
Does Patrick wear scarves?
Yeah, he does. He's
remember
a hipster.
you gotta think what would fully realize Patrick do, not 5% Patrick.
That's right. That's right.
You guys truly don't know Patrick if you're putting scarves on.
Yeah, Patrick doesn't wear scarves though.
No, he does.
He's living in Seattle. Give him a couple years.
The only problem with this is that I'm covering up Mr. Fruit.
Give him a couple years.
I don't like this.
You need the shorts.
I need to have the this not cover up there. Mr. Fruits. Okay, I'll wear it like this.
There you go.
There you go. More to the sides, more hipster.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I feel good about this podcast right now. I feel like we're really in touch with what would Patrick do.
The whole XP debacle is definitely a debacle, but I think it's I think it's just, it's another log thrown on the fire for what's been happening. And that it's almost like it was the straw that they were like, okay, I think we have to start addressing the community pretty fast because it's going up in flames right now with all this stuff.
That was the first time I got mad because I have always seen the positive in the game because of what the community has done for me and what the game has done for me professionally and personally. So I've been remaining positive. The monetary shadiness of that is the first time I was like, okay.
It's hard to put a positive. It's impossible to put a positive spin on that. And I think they knew that. They covered it in the podcast, that it's really hard to say that this doesn't look shady, and they admitted it. But they say that it came from a good place.
Sure.
It's got the camera too.
Take it for what you can.
So they did take it out. The problem is that they also doubled the amount of XP you need for a Bright Engram. And if you are like a Crucible primarily player, it is going to take you all day to get a Bright Engram.
It took me 3 raids to actually rank up my hunter. 3 raids to get a Bright Engram.
That's a lot.
Wow. That's okay.
Yeah, I feel like the changes they made, it's kind of...
It's weird.
Yeah.
There's just changes that I see and I'm like,
why?
Do you remember do you remember the EA the loot crate scandal thing? And
yes.
Then they took away the loot crate thing, and then they changed the amount of XP to an astronomical amount.
Man.
I mean, that's just.
This is the
just smacks of this.
The pre-winter podcast. Kicking in.
I'm sorry, I've receded into full Patrick. I'm just taking photos and drinking whiskey and drinking bourbon.
Straight from the bottle too. No.
That's not hipster at all. Where's your snifter? Where's your?
Yeah, you gotta have a little.
You gotta have a glass
beer with
that
the
costs
little
more
twist
than the
of.
whiskey.
It gets more in my mustache like this, so I can taste it later.
Do we all have PS4? Oh my god!
I actually gave mine away. I gave mine away.
This is like the old school Pat headwear.
If you're listening to this, if you're listening to this on iTunes, what's happened is we have all
we're in a fucking
into our inner
arms race.
Patrick Casey. We have all donned on our beanies. We have thrown over our shoulders our most trendy handkerchief or scarf.
Whoa! This was purchased. I
gotta get me a handkerchief.
This was purchased years ago. You cannot get this in the store right now.
You got this right before the podcast because you know how hipster Patrick is.
I don't know.
His hat is gigantic.
I've been told that me and all my potties are shills except for Patrick.
That's
Patrick's fucking awesome.
That's
so I want to be more like Patrick.
That's probably accurate.
I agree with that comment. We're all shills. We're sellouts.
Definitely.
So we're trying to be more like Patrick.
I keep spending all my money on beanies and scarves. It's a problem I got. I need to cut back.
Excuse me. I haven't spent a single cent on any beanie that I own. My mother makes them for me.
Yes, Bungie actually gave me this hat.
Touché.
I actually got this for free from me.
Yeah.
And Scuff gave me this, so I guess I am sort of
chill.
Yeah.
Shame.
Let me know. Send me a message on Twitter of what you would do
Pope, you should
to
wear
be
that hat.
more like Patrick, and you could get one of these two very nice snapback Scuff gaming hats. How about that? So if you have, I am going to select somebody in the next week that has the best example of what would Patrick do. Hashtag WWPD in their Twitter statement to me. And you could win yourself a Scuff Gaming snapback hat.
If you can provide a picture, that would be even better.
Sarah.
Yes.
You're into acting, obviously.
I am. That's the thing.
Do you do improv?
Yes, sometimes.
All right.
Oh no.
Let's improv this blue ad read.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Just remember, what would Patrick do?
Are you going to give it to her?
I need a setting.
A setting?
Yeah, setting.
She's on a very windy pier.
I really don't want to make wind noises into the microphone.
Look,
whatever. Fine. We're rolling with it. We're rolling with it. Excuse me, Miss.
I'm sorry, I have something in my eye. I can't see you. What do you need?
Miss.
Yes, it's very, very windy.
It's very hard to hear me right now. Here, can you put these headphones on?
Oh, they seem so comfortable.
In fact, they are. And it cuts down the noise of all the wind. Do you want to know what these headphones are?
Yes, tell me more.
Oh, yes, these are the Blue, Sadie, or possibly Lola headphones. You can't really tell by looking, but it doesn't matter because they have superior sound dampening technology and what
was that?
Sound and shit.
What was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm speaking to you with my voice. Let me bring up my Blue Yeti microphone. It's the most popular microphone by internet creators and countless elite gaming teams and Twitch streamers.
Do you want to be a Twitch streamer?
Wow. Yes, please.
Wow.
Yeah. If you get that microphone and use the headphones, you too can do that. Also, I wouldn't really recommend using that microphone in a windy situation like this, but yeah, that's basically what any mic sound like in an intense wind. Noise going on.
Nice work. Everybody,
Thank you.
BlueMic.com.
Let me collect my plastic.
BlueMic.com.
That was great.
That was really great.
Nice.
We are going to lose all of our subscribers at the end of this episode. They're gone already.
Hey, it's been a great year. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you with Destiny 3.
It was a good run.
Oh, now I'm sweating. All right.
Is there anything else we want to talk about before we do Twitter questions today?
That at this point in the podcast in the near future, they may get an inserted ad read.
Yes.
If you wish to give us money and get an ad read.
Help us become shills. That would be great.
Give us your merch to shill out on.
The money that Bungie is giving us is just not, we're getting greedy.
It just got me this hat, to be honest. I'm a little disappointed.
It's so much.
Too big.
It's too big. It's not even a personalized fit.
This is a message to our very awesome fans of the show. We've gotten tons of messages of how much they appreciate the show, and that we reached out there and said, you guys mind if we put ads into the show to help support us in what we're doing here? It's been over years. How many years have we been together?
Technically 3. Going on 4.
We've been together for at least 3 years.
Wow.
Longer
working
than my
together,
marriage.
and have never asked anything of the show personally for finances. And as we've scaled up, we've done things like made sure we have a website and housing, and we're hiring an editor and things like that. So just
keep going.
We are pushing out ads. We got together with a ad company, and they're going to be inserting dynamic ads. We appreciate you guys putting up with that. It's going to help pay the bills and get us to Guardian Con and get us to the booth at Guardian Con and help us support you guys with higher quality content. So
we're also going to get a kick-ass van with the DCP logo, and we're going to ride around and have.
Are we doing a live tour?
We're having a tour.
We're doing a live tour, baby.
Live tour. Goddamn, with beanies.
You can come party at the DCP
with beanies.
Bus. Yes, there will be beanies.
Thank you very much for your
That's
support
the tour.
over the years, guys.
DCP, there will be beanies.
It's going to help us to produce a better show for you and help to pay for artists with Ash, who is been there since the beginning and has never asked us for a dime. So thank you very much.
Also, it can like pay our audio editor, and maybe if you guys liked that animation of the blue ad read, we can start up. I have an animator to do an animated series now. If we actually wanted to do that,
yay!
Yay!
The Twitter questions. Enough business.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
All right. Sparty for You says, what similarities are there between starring in a musical and being a Twitch streamer? What is the biggest difference to you? This one's specifically geared toward Patrick, I believe.
So the only musical experience I have is playing the trumpet and then also singing
I was just kidding, Patrick.
songs from really Book of Mormon.
Okay.
That's college. Relevant.
It's a good, fucking fantastic musical.
It is. So the major difference is that when I'm on Twitch, I am being Sarah. And when I'm doing musicals, I'm being someone else. And I remember for a long time when I started streaming, I was like, I need to curse less. I need to be nicer. And then I realized that I was acting and it was gross. And so I stopped doing that. And now I'm mean. Just kidding. I'm not mean. No, I'm a little mean. I'm not mean. And that's the biggest difference is the performing versus just being yourself and getting to like be in your chill zone and play games and hang out with cool peeps.
Nice.
Cell SSX says, what part of the Bungie blog post were you most surprised to see?
Ranked PvP.
Yeah, ranked PvP by a long shot.
Definitely.
Ranked PvP, even for me who doesn't play it.
Just for them to be like, we might put ranked in the game, guys. I'm like, what? I didn't even know you guys knew what ranked was.
Yeah.
And then double downing and saying it's the top of their list.
Yes.
And I was really surprised that we didn't get a nerf to fusion rifles and hunters.
There's next week.
Oh, don't worry.
It's
coming to the sandbox.
Sandbox changes next week.
It's
the hunters definitely need a nerf.
Official patch changes coming next week.
Hunter recovery removed from the game.
Just completely. It's not even an option.
Completely. Yeah, it's not an option.
You have to rely on Warlock health pools to get your health back.
We saw a glitch in the game that some hunter armor did have recovery on it. Fix that.
Yes. We saw that you had the illusion of hope. We removed that for you.
Shame.
Also notice that fusion rifles do damage. We fixed that as well.
We noticed that you were getting kills in Crucible with the fusion rifle.
Yes, no, can't have that. That's not acceptable.
We heard that you wanted to feel more like Destiny 1. We're just trying to make you feel at home here.
We're giving you what you want.
Atlas, New York City says, last question for me. I guess he asked a lot of questions. Something I don't think is addressed enough is the language Bungie uses. They often say the game we want to create, which seems to clash with the game the community wants to play. Can there be balance? If so, where?
Interesting.
You know, someone tweeted something today I actually left up. They said they're the creators of the game. At the end of the day, it's still their vision. They're smart, know their games are more successful when the community is passionate, but it's their call what happens to the game. We don't have to like it, but we have to respect it. So even if there are people who aren't wanting to play the game in its current state, or even with the steps that they're taking, they know that there has to be some kind of middle ground met, but it's hard to do that, as they keep saying to us. It's not like, okay, I'm going to press a button, you know?
And I'd push back on that a little bit and say that it is the game that they made. It is the game that they made, and I really appreciate their vision and what they've made. But what we're seeing right now is their need. Well, you know, I could build a fantastic amusement park, right, Tefty?
Sure.
But if there's nobody there to ride the rides,
you're going out of business.
You're going out of business, right?
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Here's the thing: they created this vision, but there was nobody there to ride the rides. Mm-hmm. As much, you know, and so how do you sell your what is it called? They're frozen. Patrick, what do they do in
gelato?
Frozen, like fried, whatever.
So to push back Pope a little bit,
okay.
I would like to ask you how many of the things that changed from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 do you think were actual direct responses to requests from the community? Because I would argue quite a bit.
That's true as well.
True.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they realized I think they created their vision for Destiny 2. Let's talk about Destiny 2, and it's a completely different game. All right, I don't even want to mention Destiny 1.
But what I'm talking about is the creation of Destiny 2. How much of that was a reaction to community requests? And I would argue quite a lot. And sometimes listening to the community. Sometimes you gotta deliver your own vision because people don't necessarily know what they want.
I don't know.
They know.
I don't know if creating the game. I wouldn't say that creating the game that they made for Destiny 2 was in fact listening to the vocal part of the community, because I would argue that the vocal part of the community is more of a hardcore player. Mm-hmm. I think that they listened to their vision, their data, and they put together a game that they felt was appropriate to those people feeling marginalized by loot and that was hard to get and the need to grind every week. So they created a different game and they went after it, and kudos for them. But they are now they're getting to a point where, a relatively empty theme park, and they're realizing they need to sell candy corn.
The Crucible, to me, often reminds me of requests that I saw in Destiny 1, right? 6v6 is too hectic. I don't like 6v6. So they pulled back on 6v6, made 4v4. I don't like the random rolls. They're too hard to get. They got rid of random rolls. Now everybody's equal. The time to kill is too fast. I want the time to kill to be slower and more like old Halo. Okay, they did that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of.
I want to use primaries more.
I want to use primaries more.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Here's two.
No, I agree. The changes to Destiny 2. There's a lot of things in Destiny 2 right now. I got to put it out. I love the game, man. I love it. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to say that there's some things that they missed on it, right? And they're admitting that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the way the gunplay feels. We all play Destiny because it's fun to shoot shit in the face. It's fun, right? Yeah. It's fun to be space magic. It's fun to have all these things. It's fun. What the average player now is, the bulk of people, and I think the reason why they're listening is that it's not just that 2% anymore. This whatever cut they made, cut too deep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now they're into a middle ground of their population where now a bulk of the people, even into the casual basis of people, see no end game. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when you've got a majority of your population saying, no, then you have to respond. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a natural response of the community saying, you push too deep.
I think if anything, they maybe created D2 with some feedback from the community, but they went too far with all of it. It was like, we'd like some 4v4. It's like everything's 4v4. We want more primary gunfights. Okay, here's 2 primaries. So it's kind of like they overreacted to what people were saying. I don't think they needed to make many changes to Destiny 1 to make an amazing game. But they kind of did change a lot more than they needed to.
They did change quite a bit. I'll go even farther on that as well. I'm in the same boat as Pope. I still enjoy playing the game. I boot it up. I look forward to playing it. Yeah, I find it's an enjoyable experience for me. The experience of Destiny as a whole is just satisfying to me, and I wouldn't stream it if I wasn't enjoying it every day. And I also think that where Destiny 2 is right now, it is definitely achievable to get to a place where the game has a great end game. Like, all the elements are essentially there. They just have to fix like a strand of components that get inserted everywhere in the game, and then there's going to be an end game that people are going to be interested in playing. It's not any single one thing. It's a list of investments that we can work towards as we play together that's going to make it more enticing for people to play. So again, like the Masterworks, that's a step in the right direction. It's not there yet, but it's coming down the road. Yeah, I'm assuming anyways. And it's a great game. People who've never played Destiny jump into it and say, wow, I'm surprised so many people complain about this game, because it is actually a good game. It's just hardcore D1 players expected a lot of the things that were already there for the goals and the ability to play just didn't show up in D2. And some people make it feel like an ocean. I don't think it's an ocean. I think there's valleys that they can cross pretty easily. They just have to put time into it.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Mr. Good Bites says, do you believe Bungie when they say they will be more transparent going forward? Correct me if I'm wrong, but haven't we heard that before?
We have heard that before. Yeah,
that's been said.
So they talked about this in the podcast as well. They're like, so we just said that, and just keep in mind that we're getting ready to go into winter break too. So I can like guarantee you that about give it 2 to 3 weeks from now, and people will be going, "Where's that communication?" And it's going to be like, "Buddy, we're home. We're home with our families celebrating Christmas and holidays." Yeah.
I think the community pushback this time around seemed to be more aggressive and more widespread, though.
Absolutely.
So although it was kind of bad with there was a lot of people saying some really awful things.
I hated the internet. I still do.
I'm hoping that from that it's like, okay, we really need to communicate, guys. Like this has gotten insane. And even Deej was saying that things have gotten toxic essentially because we've allowed that to happen through lack of communication.
What was so different though this time is we've seen it before where people got mad at Bungie, but what's so different this time is that the community turned on itself.
Yes.
You had
so much
content creators, you know, insulting other content creators and just being fucking shitty people. Let's be honest.
Shitty people.
Well, and let's discover where that comes from. Let's talk about a little bit of the psychology of people, right?
Oh, and I'm everything about that.
All right.
Sorry, that just sounds like one of those boring topics. We have so much.
You know what? It's not. It's not, because it really matters. This game, video games in general, are addicting, right?
Yeah.
The people that play this game are going after an addiction for a real point.
I don't think that's it, Pope.
No, hear me out. Hear me out.
What's going on here is that you've got content creators who came into this community because they fucking loved Destiny 1, and now they're financially tied to this game, but they don't fucking like it, and they're lashing out. They're scared.
But it's more than just content creators, Briar. It's average people on Twitter.
But average people. Okay, so we've always
average
had
people
that,
don't matter.
We've always had. There's always been a community like on Twitch and even on YouTube, where you had this community of players who loved this fucking game but felt attacked by the entire outside world. Okay. And we've always been able to deal with that because we stuck together. But it's different now. What it is now is you've got the community actually infighting. If you say you like Destiny, you're part of the problem because you're not working toward fixing Destiny because you're happy with the way it is.
And I agree, I hear you, and I agree with you that was something unique. But my point of this is that and I don't think it's about money, and I don't think it's about. I think it's about that when you have a game that means as much as it does for so many people, and we're in a position where everybody was able to hold their shit together in D1 because they were expecting D2 to fix it all. They get to D2 and it let them down. It started to hit the community as a whole when A, people started leaving and playing other games. B, streamers started leaving and playing other games. C, we just wanted it to fix so we could go play with our fucking friends. That's where it comes down to.
That's a problem. That's a problem, but that's not what the problem I'm talking about. The problem I'm talking about is the community turning on each other and expressing positivity about the game you enjoy, and enjoying the game made you a target for other community members.
I hear you.
Guys, we're both right. We're both right. Can we please move on? You're both right.
No, they're good conversations, Patrick, and I think there's a cathartic moment here that needs to be had in the community. And I understand that you don't think that that's important to talk about, but the reality is there's some people out there that are really, really hurt by this. They're seeing friends that they love and they spent years with. And if I didn't get to play with you guys, this is my version of playing the game. I get to talk to you guys every week. If this all of a sudden stopped, I would be depressed. I would be upset about this. And that's what people are seeing. And that's why the visceral reactions are so real. More people are dropping out of Destiny than ever before. So what's happening? They're getting upset and depressed, and they're showing that. And that happens content creators are people too. And they're seeing it in the community. And you see Deej step up and say, hey, focus your energy on us and how we can improve the game. Please support each other. That's the reaction of a good community manager to a real problem that's happening viscerally in their community. That's what I wanted to say.
Allenton Penn Jr. says, I was wondering if I am the only one upset that Bungie had given us this State of Destiny blog. I would have rather been surprised to see all the features on December 5th when I start Curse of Osiris. Just wondering if you guys felt the same way.
I think the communication was so incredibly important.
Yeah.
Especially with DLC coming up, right? Like, people are like, why are you trying to sell me this DLC when you have all these issues? Like, talk to me. What are you actually going to do to make this game more enjoyable for me, instead of just doing all these marketing streams where they're showing off new stuff and all that? It was super important to have this communication.
Yeah, very important.
Rob says, are we going to get more vault space?
Please, God.
I freaking doubt it, honestly.
Please.
They're trying to give us more vault space by letting us trade in blue mods, but I don't know if that's going to solve the problem.
Not going to fix it.
Give me 40 spots, but that's not going to free any up, really, for my shaders.
Right, holy crap. I just put on this beanie and I went on full Patrick rant mode.
There you go.
And welcome to the power, baby.
Sign.
Let me ask you.
This is amazing.
We asked you what would Patrick do, and you fucking responded.
You responded. It's right here. It's like I absorbed Patrick and I
It starts
ranted.
with the beanie and moves to the heart.
It came from here, man. How do you live with this kind of passion, Patrick?
Why do you think I look dead inside? Because you guys keep cutting me off. No, my fucking passion Magic Gathering every week.
Nice Poncho says.
Well done.
Bungie mentioned ranked PvP was going to the top of their list for the new year. Do you think it will be what competitive players are looking for? And how long into 2018 do you guys, goddamn, this 240 character limit on Twitter.
So much.
People are now asking like 5 questions instead of 1.
Do you think it will be what competitive players are looking for, and how long into 2018 do you guys think it will be before it's implemented?
You could literally just say,
I stopped paying attention.
how long do you think how long
hashtag Lamb Squad. I'm not done yet. Hashtag Lamb Squad for life.
Yeah. You use
I don't
those
even remember
240
the question.
characters.
It's just too long.
Something about PvP. I checked out.
Will the ranked PvP be what competitive players want? Maybe. It's hard to really say what they. It's hard to say what they think is going to be good for the game. You know, I have absolutely no idea.
If only Bungie had people that were part of developing a top tier, competitive, first-person shooter game at some point in their history.
That they were somehow linked to.
Yeah.
It's yeah. If only. If only.
Anthony Shimanek says, Pope Bear, how does it feel to hear Luke Smith confirm that it's pronounced twab?
I'm pretty sure he said thwab.
I'm pretty sure he said twab.
He pronounced. He opened up he didn't settle anything. What he did is he opened it back up.
He added a new option.
We have a new option. We have twab. We have
twab.
The rascally wabbit saying
twab.
You know.
Although it is at, right? And how do you say the A in at? You say twab.
And you know what? To be honest with you, Luke Smith is a smart man.
But it's this week
in
at
this
Bungie.
case, he's wrong. He you know, he's just flat out wrong. It's a thwab, and everybody knows it.
Evan Meyer says, with Bungie trying to get better at communicating with the community, do you think they should communicate more in-game, like seeing the TWAB or patch notes in-game would be pretty cool?
That would be amazing. Yeah. So many games
because
do that.
Because they have the little pop-up things, right? Where it's like, Iron Banner's now live. Just have it like be a scroll thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
you're playing
click out if you're not into it.
Yeah, you just start up Fortnite, and then right there on the tab thing, right next to your settings, you say it says news
on the tab.
On the tab, the
TWAB.
The tab.
You get this news and announcement thing, and you can just read it.
Yeah, there should be like a news like mail icon in the directory. You click on, and you can scroll through the latest from Bungie.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
that would be. Amazing.
They do put up news on the Blizzard app if you're on PC.
I got it pulled up right now. The only thing I see is Expansion 1 Curse of Osiris reveal trailer, breaking news for when a reset's coming on, and then a very empty friends list. Sorry, that one was a little bit uncalled for. But seriously, like, you got the Blizzard launcher. How come
they're watching the podcast?
How come we're not?
Yes, dude. We got.
There's actually 5 people on the friends list currently online playing Destiny 2. But
it shouldn't be in the Blizzard app. It should be in the game. It should be in the game. Not everybody has access to the Blizzard.
It's in the game. It's in the game.
Yeah. Take it from EA. Look how good they're doing it.
Yeah.
Fucking nailing it.
They're nailing it right now.
Like a fucking Mac.
Or you know what? You could look at.
What would EA do?
What would EA do? And then do the opposite.
Clark Fishing says, would Destiny 2 have been better off with a cross-save feature between console and PC? I want to play on PC, but I don't want to start from scratch.
Yes, 100,000 times yes.
Sure, yes.
So many people would play on multiple platforms easily if they could just transfer the character back and forth.
Yes.
I'd even pay to be able to do that, right? Like if I could pay like less than full price or whatever, I would pay money to be able to do that.
I'd be happy to pay for the game on both platforms. Yeah. It'd be so nice if I could just move my characters back and forth.
That's what you're paying for it, Watts. You're paying because I bought the game on PC.
I'll pay like $5.
No, I think I already paid for it. I mean,
but if I had to, I wouldn't mind doing it to have
you're
that
buying
option.
2 versions of it. You're paying twice over. You should be getting this connection, this service.
True. Yes. That is true.
But you wouldn't pay twice as many Bright Engrams if you had them shared between consoles.
You're right.
Right, you need that butt floss emote on PS4 and on Xbox, right?
Did you guys see the emotes in the trailer that they put out in the THWAB?
Didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either.
I didn't watch it.
What's that?
I didn't watch it.
No, you gotta watch it. There's 2 emotes in there. There's one that you're
like December 5th. I want to be like, oh my god, look at these new emotes. I haven't seen these.
So I shouldn't ruin it for people right now.
Yeah,
please don't. I already had up angry comments about you ruining Titanfall. So
I didn't ruin Titanfall.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
I didn't. What I said?
Took a bullet and you shot it right in the head, and it was dead.
I'm not going to repeat it. There's 2 things I'm tired of. There's 2 things I'm tired of. One, having stuff spoiled from me, by watching these streams, which is something I just kind of can't. That's part of the job. Number 2, I'm tired of waiting. We've been waiting for 3 years for the game to, we're just like, oh, well, next thing, then maybe the next thing. And at this point, kind of tired of waiting. But yeah, that's something else entirely. You guys played Magic?
When I was,
I could start with those cards that I bought.
I was in 7th grade.
You
and
bought
I
me
played
cards?
Magic.
Are you cards?
I got a pack from Japan. Made sure they were Japanese. They were selling American ones as well, and I was like, no.
See, the good thing is the Japanese cards are actually a better card stock too. So good on you.
Shaka Shack says, "What do y'all think about the tie-in with Amazon's Alexa setting and switching loadouts via your Echo or Dot? Neat feature or waste of time?"
I think it's lame that you have to say, Alexa, ask Ghost to do something. Oh, Alexa,
exactly.
Talk to me now. Alexa, stop.
She was like, yes, Ms. Watts.
You should be able to say Ghost. You should be able to say Ghost instead of having to say Alexa.
Yeah, having to ask the thing to ask the Ghost to ask. Yeah, it's cool,
sort of,
but...
I already played middleman with my parents when they got divorced. I don't want to do this shit with Alexa here.
Either way, I have both of them on the way, so...
It would be awesome to see. You bought
the
it?
Ghost?
Damn.
Yeah, one of my friends got it for me.
Yeah,
that's nice.
The Ghost is cool. It basically, to me, the pictures look like the collector's edition Ghost from Destiny 1, except it's black and gray instead of the red.
Yeah.
It's cool,
it's
but
interesting.
It's $80, man. It's $80.
I think it's going to be interesting to see the impact on PvP in competitive matches. Being able to quickly see your team in a competitive game and see that they are utilizing a certain strategy, and being able to yell at your Ghost or Alexa to put together your PvP dash. Put in my
ultimate
super competitive, put my warlock class on, whatever you want to call it, and then all of a sudden
is it gonna work like that?
Yeah, you can tell it to load in a whole setup.
And you can also say, Alexa, please transfer over my most powerful rocket launcher. To which I say, I literally had a fight yesterday about Curtain Call versus Sins and what's good and bad about each of them. So what is Alexa/Ghost going to pick?
Mob Justice.
The Mob Justice only at all times. So we'll see.
Lotus 577 says, given that Masterworks are now a thing, can we expect any of you to do a master class about Masterworks, and will we be able to master the master class?
There's a lot of master in there.
I think I can master it all.
Master Blaster.
Yes, we are Master Blasters.
Funny tweeter name says, so is it safe to say that Teft's Warframe references are equivalent to Holtzmann's Warcraft references?
Yeah, we're getting there.
I haven't really made a lot of Warframe references lately.
Yeah, every podcast, dude. Every single podcast for like 2 months, you've made a reference to Warframe.
I don't think so.
Yes, you have. I bet you.
I don't think I've made a reference to Warframe every podcast in the past like 5 weeks.
All right, so I'm going to make a bet that you have done it every time, and you will say on the next podcast, Pope, you are right and are the smartest person I've ever known.
I mean,
if I'm wrong, I'll say the same about you.
I don't think I've made a reference to Warframe every single podcast.
But I'm challenging you right now.
All right. Yeah. Here's the rules, though. You have to actually clip the audio from every podcast of me referencing it with the number so it's verifiable.
Better yet, Tefty, you clip the entire podcast without you saying it.
Nick, can you hook me up, please?
There you go. Let's go ahead and edit.
That seems like a lot of work.
By the way, you referencing Warframe right now, it counts.
No, it doesn't. This is this is out of context.
You just said
100%. This is out of context. Then I'm not agreeing to it. Then I'm not agreeing to it.
All right. Next question from Pope Bear. Tefty, can you talk a little bit about Warframe?
No.
He said no. He acknowledged the existence of the question. That counts.
No, that does not count. I did not talk about Warframe.
You just did.
No, this is out. This is within context. This is within context of the commitment. This isn't the actual commitment, you know?
Can someone actually do the getting the clip of Tefty just saying Warframe? I don't even want to hear the rest of it, just him saying just Warframe. So it's just Warframe.
Warframe. Someone's going to do it for sure.
It's like a 15-minute video.
In Warframe,
you talk about the end game of Warframe pretty much every game. Every podcast.
Nope, Warframe. I don't. I brought it up when it was relevant a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Putty Mom says, do you miss the Grimoire cards? The storytelling in-game is great, but I miss all the clues and backstories in the Grimoire and being able to read them while I'm at work and can't play on the PS4. Putty Mom, you're not going to get ahead in life if you're reading Grimoire card at work. You gotta get to work, bro. Man, come on.
Gotta make that money. Gotta chill. Gotta cash those budget checks.
Gotta buy some bright engrams, man. The Clarion Call is bogus.
You gotta get those bright engrams before they go away.
Yeah.
Next season they're gone. You gotta get the stuff.
I didn't think I'd miss it when they talked about killing it. But in all honesty, I do a little bit. It was kind of cool. Like having that deep lore kind of aside from just the story they told in the game.
I never, ever, ever, ever asked for them to get rid of the Grimoire, and we wanted increased story. That's great. We wanted the Grimoire available for us to read in the game. That's it.
A codex.
That's what we wanted.
That's right. We wanted the Grimoire in the game.
There is, in fact, another game that is like that does have a codex within it. I will not mention.
Oh, really? What other game is that?
I'm not permitted to say said.
No, you're referencing it already.
Fortnite?
Nope. This is a direct violation.
No.
Witcher 3.
I might be talking about Mass Effect or Witcher 3. Maybe
Mass
there's
Effect
something.
Has a codex about it.
Actually, you know it does have a codex. Doom 2016 has an amazing codex in it.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
What other games?
That's the only one that comes off the top of my head at the moment.
Liar.
All right. Big Red says, what emote would you use as a touchdown celebration?
Ramen.
Yeah, it's got to be the butt wipe one. Butt floss.
100%.
No.
Ramen.
You like that one too much.
Or ramen.
No, the butt floss.
Oh, man, you can't like butt floss too much. You got to keep your butt clean, man. You get that Dutch crunch in there. It's terrible.
Dude, let's talk about this in like realistic terms. Are you really going to do this when you're cleaning yourself? If you got poop on you, what is this accomplishing?
I just want the Trials of Osiris to begin, and everybody's doing their salt emote, and and I'm up there.
That's not okay.
We need the dab back.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Go without it.
I want the dab
There's
back.
a new emote coming in Crucible Osiris.
Well, don't ruin it.
I'm not going to tell you what it is.
All right.
There's a new one coming that's kind of nice.
Well, we got a touchdown celebration.
Well, can we keep Warframe out of this, please? I'm having a little too many references from you about Warframe. All right.
That counts. All right. So I think that it's just anything from there's some fun ones from D1, but I definitely would like to see more of the neon colored ones, the neon like animated ones.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah,
they are cool. Yeah. I want more silly exotic ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like that are just silly, not serious, just super silly exotic ones. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Christopher Labra said, "Are any of you getting the?" Oh, I already asked about that. Bryce Huffman said, "If you could redesign the Titan mark so it looked less like a butt flap, what would it be? Hunters have cloaks, warlocks have armbands, Titans have
a butt flap.
Butt flaps.
I'd make it more butt flappy.
How about a headband?
Or a beanie.
I have no problem with the way the Titans, armor, sigil, the way that it looks. I have no problem with it. I think it looks awesome.
The Wrath of the Machine one that looked like a loincloth. That one made me happy.
I mean, yeah, that's the one that we have that one now too with the raid one.
Oh, is it that way too?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cod piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, headband, man. Nice fuzzy headband. Keep the sweat out of your eyes while you're punching things to death. Good.
The only thing that I would want Titans to have that in replace of that would be too difficult to implement for PvP purposes because it would make yourself a huge target. But I like the idea of Titans being kind of like the feudal Japan or feudal China, like the they had the flags that popped up.
Oh yeah, the flag
right?
that like sticks
so
up.
I felt like a Titan would be somebody that would want to have a signal that notifies their teammates that to rally on them. That they're going to be if Destiny was more of a class specific game.
Stand behind me.
Yeah, just
what if you had an exotic where, as a Titan, if you popped your shield, it would put that up behind you. Just
yeah, you should. I like the idea of something that signifies you that like rally on me. I've got this. I've got the. You drop your shield. You drop your. It's but it doesn't. Yeah, something that makes it more signifying of you being the tank class.
What's a tank class?
It's not in the game. You got to read the grimoire to find that.
Is it in Warframe? Are there tanks in Warframe?
What game is that?
I heard about it on the
Warframe's
podcast.
going to be like Witcher.
Just integrated to Witcher 3 status.
We're seeing a trend here. When Destiny gets backed into a corner, it's like, I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is exactly how I feel when my wife asked me about the broken dish. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just wasn't there.
What donut? I didn't see any donuts. Subgut says, let's be honest, the real reason Bungie canceled the stream was because the Avengers Infinite War trailer came out on Wednesday. No way anyone's watching a stream with that out in the wild, right?
Agreed.
That was crazy.
The trailer does look good. I really like the cameo at the end of it, too.
It's fun. It's fun and it's exciting. I love the culmination of it. There's like 11 films that go into the making of it, into the lead up to it, something like that. I think that's great. It's a gamble. They started out. If you watch the director interviews of it, they had an idea to create this series leading up to Infinity War, and to the success of Iron Man right out the gate is what allowed them to have the license to be able to make these other films. So for that and only that reason do I thank Tony Stark. Otherwise, he's a pretentious prick. But, if it allowed us to get to Captain America and
you want to be in the fun V or the ho hum V?
It's Thor and Captain America are what do it for me. I mean, I don't know where you guys stand on it. What's your favorite lead up to?
Captain America is the most boring character ever. He's just always does the good thing. There's no depth there at all. It's just boring.
Are you kidding me? Whoa. Okay. All right. He's challenged with always doing the right thing. He is the part of us that is always striving and struggling with.
Patrick's taking over your head again. Calm down.
You guys are wondering why I'm not
Take the hat
talking.
off. Take the hat off.
Beanie did it.
You can leave the scarf on. That was the only thing that was really
guys.
stopping
Where you been?
the thing seeping down into the rest
Thanks,
of your body.
Brian. I appreciate that. It was getting too much.
Paul Poseidon says, when driving across country and you see a slew of gas stations, which one do you pick to use the bathroom? Follow-up question, do you buy something or do you just leave?
Just leave.
Yeah.
Drop and go.
I would say you pick the fast food joint instead of the gas station. Higher chance.
Yeah.
Higher chance of
I
it
think
being
that's
cleaner.
good advice.
No, that's definitely higher chance of it being cleaner than your
The one
standard
with
the
Chevy.
fast food joint,
the one
though.
with
Like, you
less
want a national
truck
brand.
guys in it.
Typically
Less
McDonald's.
truck guys.
Typically McDonald's has like a cleaner
McDonald's
bathroom.
does have super clean restrooms.
Mhm. Yep.
I'm with Watts on this. Truck drivers tend to have really explosive diarrhea.
Just constant
and when you go to the restroom and you see it like speckled all over the toilet and on the seat and all over the wall and stuff, and you're like,
great.
it's not good.
Really?
I can hold it.
It's not great.
I can wait.
It makes me not need to
Puts
go
you out of the
anymore.
mood.
Yeah.
You know? You're
Yeah.
like,
Just like-
It gets me out of the mood.
I've been
I
driving
wanna
a semi.
I gotta go.
Just as good as this toilet.
I was gonna say you pick the largest gas station that doesn't include truck stops on it, because then they have the most bathrooms, so you have a more likely chance to get one that someone hasn't fucking violated.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Violated.
No violated. bathrooms. What would
I love talking about bathroom stuff.
Britton Zahn says, if Destiny had crossover with any game character from another series, who would you want to see? Also, Briar Rabbit was 100% right. Best fighting game character series is Street Fighter.
You added that.
No, I picked the question because it was there, but I didn't add it. Who would you want to see? Any game character from another series? Who would you want to see?
Probably some kind of Warframe character.
Perhaps. Maybe a frame or two.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'd love to see the Arbiter.
Ooh.
I love the tortured, character of the Arbiter, and I'd love to see him in the world.
Isn't that
of Destiny.
failsafe, kind of?
No, what the?
No.
That's not the Arbiter. What?
No.
Oh,
Arbiter is.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of. My bad. You're right.
You're
I am
thinking
Guilty
of
Spark.
the Guilty Spark.
Guilty Spark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Guilty
no,
Spark.
Arbiter is the elite that was in charge of the whole battle group, and just he's the prideful. I don't know. It's just that whole character class. I love the ability to explore it, and I love to see him in Destiny.
Callus reminds me of Queen Braun from Final Fantasy IX. Just like so excessive and so extra and bizarre.
I'm going to see more from Callus actually. The raid layers.
We will.
I want to see some secrets.
I want to meet the real Callus.
That would be amazing.
Who else are you bringing in?
So I can ba.
I'm gonna go with my hunter from World of Warcraft.
Oh, you want World of Warcraft merged in there?
No, my hunter though, not any of the actual characters there. Well, I'd be okay with Sylvanas because she's awesome, but
Sylvanas is awesome.
I feel like if you pick a character from something, that world is getting merged with this world. With the
we're merging worlds.
Yeah, it opens
We're
the
not
door.
just doing a one.
Oh, so we
thing?
get WoW progression system? Holy fuck!
Oh, man.
Thank you.
No. Yeah.
I'm with Patrick.
Yes. We get WoW progression
I'm
and
with
loot
Patrick.
and WoW raids and Destiny first person shooters. Sign
Imagine
me
playing-
the fuck up.
Imagine
sounds
playing
like a dream.
a Destiny
That sounds
character and doing a WoW raid in it.
Whatever. Yeah. If we're
Where is he?
if
He's
it
right.
also
He's right
it
above
also
me.
caused this stuff to get merged, then yeah, my WoW Hunter, I don't care the fucking rabbit that's running around the starting zone. I don't care if it means the rest of the stuff comes in.
Oh,
I think I
I'm
know
not with
who
that
I'd
anymore. I'm
merge.
stealing this from chat, and I'm going with Samus for Metroid.
Oh, that would be awesome.
She's like custom built. She could be perfect.
That's true. I'm going to take it towards a darker turn. I'm going to bring in Doom Guy. Doom Guy is going to get merged.
Doom guy.
Yes. And then you got
You don't need
Hell
an
and
end game with
Demons.
Doom guy.
And then the game has to go, mature because there's obviously going to be a lot of blood and ripping and all that. So,
Sure.
I like to rip and tear. It's fun.
yep.
Jeez.
Oh, it's got dark.
Doom's dark.
is a-
Doom Guy's, he's seen some stuff.
There's some stuff.
If you guys haven't played Doom, play it. Doom 2016 is amazing.
It's all right.
It's available on Twitch or Switch now too.
Yeah.
Yes,
This is
it
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Husar Havoc says, on a scale of 1 to asshat, how bad is it when during PvP your teammate during solo queue bumps you out of the way to take power ammo?
The most annoying part is when you've been obviously waiting for it for a while, and then it's just it's a gentleman's agreement that you've been waiting for a while, I'll let you have it. That's fine. I don't.
Yeah.
It's very
Screw that.
Unless
If I see
it's
somebody,
your
I just
friend,
swipe
like if
it
you
out of
know
the
the
way.
guy and you're playing with like in the same fire team.
Oh yeah, you got to try and steal it every time.
Get him out of there.
It's the number one reason to play
that guy
Titan.
right out of there.
The number one reason to play Titan and have shoulder charge.
Shoulder charge, right? Yeah, it's a dickhead thing to do for sure. You see a lot of it too when the daily like bounty is get heavy kills. See a lot of it then.
Yeah, you do.
Ramos Network says DCP are now professional wrestlers. What is your signature move and what's it called?
I just kind of like rant and bore them to death.
Nice.
My signature move is like I'm getting a table and they're like, he's getting the table. Oh my god! Like I set it up and like I get 2 chairs and they're like, he's also got the chairs. And then like I set them down and then like I bring out the magic cards and we battle.
Nice.
I like it.
That's the move.
I like it. That's the best one. I don't even want to compete
fantastic.
with that, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't even want
I'm a huge fan of Nacho Libre, so I'm just going to steal Eagle Powers from Nacho Libre.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with the Dutch oven. I'm gonna pull my cape
it's
out,
always Dutch.
throw
It's
it,
always
throw
Dutch.
it on top of his face,
That's
and let
brilliant.
it out.
I guess I'll go with the Dutch Crunch then. We gotta
Dutch
finish
Crunch. Nobody wants that Dutch crunch.
There is only one
Yeah.
signature move in the Pope Bear inventory,
Uh-huh.
and it involves me falling out of my chair.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It would work well with my special move actually too.
And with me
Table.
being bored to death, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
All right.
Do we have anything else?
What's your move?
My move? Mine would be something like, because I've been a princess forever, I would probably be like Tinkerbell and I would be cute and sprinkle pixie dust on you and you'd die.
Damn. Tinkerbell got deep.
Yeah, I don't know if Tinkerbell.
86 and fools with the dust.
He does now.
He does now.
It's dark.
Ryan Mainwall says, after playing Destiny for hours on end, what is your after game ritual? Mine is usually watching an episode of something before bed. If you haven't watched The Punisher on Netflix, go do it now. Little ad read for The Punisher. Jesus, we get paid for that? Pope Bear, do we get paid for that?
Well, soon.
Netflix, we get paid for that?
What do you guys do when you're done playing? Like, what's your post game?
Eat right away.
I'm usually pretty
Playing or
hungry.
streaming?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually when I'm playing, I'm streaming. So, and I usually stream through lunch, so I'm usually pretty hungry by the time I finish up.
That's true.
And
Usually-
chat is always talking about food.
Yes. That's all we talk about is eating.
Usually,
Right.
immediately after playing Destiny, get naked and take a shower. Just wash off the experience, Just
Watch the sweat off.
watch
Sweat.
because I've been playing PvP, so I got to wash all that sweatiness off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
It gets pretty filthy being a shill, so yeah, you probably
That's
gotta.
true. It's also
got to
true.
do that.
Yeah.
And then if you're smearing the butt, the poop back and forth, you got to clean that off.
Gotta do laundry as well then.
You got to do laundry.
Oh, yeah. I get offline at like 2, 3 in the morning. I usually get some food, but also Memes and I go walk Joey, our dog, because God help me, is that dog gonna wake me up in the middle of my sleep? I'm gonna sleep into 1 p.m. Guaranteed. I do not want to wake up to Joey having to go to the bathroom at 8 a.m. So I walk him at 4 a.m.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice walk. It's quiet.
Super quiet.
Yeah.
Kind of chilly too.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just be glad you don't live where I live.
Yeah, my neighbors might think I'm weird if they look out the window, be like, "What?" It's
but they're not going to mug you, right?
No,
you
no, definitely not.
Yeah,
I stream during the day, so usually I stream right through lunch, and then kind of like it's 5 to 7 or 5 to 7 p.m. usually when I wrap up, and I usually like my wife is coming home from work, kids are home from school. I kind of just do my rounds, bug everybody until they tell me to buzz off, and I. Go eat dinner and shit.
I usually get off at dinner time, so I usually cook and then eat. We all like eating food. That's what we found out.
Food's just the greatest.
Food is so important after like an 8-hour stream.
Oh, yeah. And relaxing and eating it. Oh,
hell
makes
yeah.
it so much better.
So good.
Bryce Huffman says, if you personally had a ghost in real life, which means you can't die and you can hack anything, what would be the first thing you'd do?
Can I hack the bank? And get
That's exactly what I was going to say. Something with money.
You have your guardian's powers.
No, you just have the ghost,
and you can't die because of resurrection.
You could like jump off a bridge and die and come back. Right? It might be kind of fun.
I think it would be interesting to do like a Halo jump with no parachute.
I feel like you'd still feel the pain. But you'd then get resurrected.
But maybe that's a good experiment. You get to tell people what it feels like to die in various situations.
Yeah,
no one else can tell you that.
That's
valuable knowledge.
I'm gonna go with Bitcoin is kind of all the craze, and that ghost probably has some pretty crazy computing power. So we're gonna farm some Bitcoins.
Nice. That's good. I will never step foot in a raid because that's where the ghost can't res you. So I'll just avoid all those places.
That's true. That Smart. Is true.
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know, man. There's so many possibilities. Like, what I'd really like to do is, get them, out there and, like, let's make some money together. Let's go do something. But I don't want to rob anybody. I just want to.
Dude, go on tour.
Go on tour.
No one's actual money's in there.
But I also don't want to get shot all the time and be like experiencing painful deaths in a bunch of ways. Like, I don't actually know how useful this fucking thing is.
Probably about as useful as an Alexa. Let's be honest. Stop not talking.
Yeah, it's good to have the ghost around, but like day to day, I think it'd just be kind of in your way all the time.
You know what you could
do? Every time you turn around, you're like, ow!
I know.
Back up a little bit.
I know what you could do to be a good guy here. You could intervene in dangerous situations you see happening around you without the fear of you dying.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't intervene because they're worried about.
You say that, and I ask myself, what would Patrick do?
Patrick
would go rob Bitcoin.
Patrick would go back home and start farming Bitcoin again.
Yeah.
He's like, Alexa, farm me some Bitcoins.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Of course you are.
She's like, I don't know about that.
She don't know.
What's a Bitcoin?
Ramos Network says, my wife wants kids, but I'm running out of excuses to hold off. Oh. Can the DCP help me create new excuses I can use?
How about I just don't actually want babies?
Yeah, how about
so let's not do that because I don't want it.
Honesty is one way you could go. I wouldn't recommend it, but
you could go with you're out of bullets. Just ain't working.
You could just say you're infertile. Boom.
You could tell her that. I want you to.
I checked out at the start of this question. What was this question that's inspiring these responses?
Wow, Patrick.
My wife wants kids, but I'm running out of excuses to hold off. Can DCP help me create new excuses I can use?
Ooh. Well, look, honey, I want you to remain the cutest thing in this house.
Look, I'm going to go with exhibit absolute incompetence in all things. Every time you get handed anything by your wife, drop it immediately. Show that you and a baby are just a bad fucking match. Also, this will get you out of doing dishes too. It works.
That's true.
No, then she's just gonna get disposable. Well, she's gonna get rubber dishes.
Look, incompetence works for a lot of different things.
Just screw up your first load of laundry that your wife asks you to do.
Done forever.
Yeah, problem solved.
Zach says, if you had advice to give to the world, what would it be? No matter. All right, so,
Just
what?
In general?
Yeah. I would just tell them to pay attention to whatever Patrick would do. And
being a shill is pretty sweet.
Be more like Patrick.
Like, apparently, people like, it's like, oh, you can go to a job to earn money, but if you're suddenly being like, hey, I'm a shill, oh, that's wrong, you can't do that. That's morally objectionable.
Is this advice?
I don't know.
Are we supposed to follow this unquestionably?
We should all follow everything Patrick
does. What would Patrick do thing?
I don't know, man. It doesn't sound like you give all that great of advice.
Okay, my real advice would be invest in reserved list Magic cards because they can't be reprinted due to the reserved list. So they're always going to be going up in price. Right now, like at least 3 months ago, Badlands, those are worth about $85, up to about $130.
I'm going to have to say wrong. The correct answer was Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin was the one to invest in.
Yep.
You would think
it just
that
went down 25% in value in 24 hours.
You would.
Now's the time to get on the Bitcoin train.
Now you got to get on the Bitcoin train. But here's the thing: reserve list. The reserve list. It's a more volatile market where it's always going up. It can't go down. Can't go down.
This is great. This is great. There's so many people in the world who are just going to ignore Magic after this conversation. You'll be like, what?
I know. And then I'm going to be able to buy even more reserve list cards. It's going to be sweet.
Fantastic.
That was terrible advice.
Yeah. I'm no longer going to be like Patrick.
Anybody got any good advice? Come on.
I don't know. Don't be an asshole, basically.
Yeah.
Just be nice, be cool, and listen to people.
Don't be an asshole.
Honestly, straight up, that is it. Be nice to people. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't even have to be particularly nice. Just don't be rude.
Yeah.
Just be normal. Middle of the road.
Yeah, just hang. Just chill.
That is good advice. Your relationships are what gets you ahead in life. Right?
Yep.
It's building relationships with people. It's what makes people happy, and it's what makes people succeed in life.
Yeah.
Wait, Brian, does this require me to go outside?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. I don't, so why start now?
That's good advice. My advice would be, no matter how good it feels, never, ever tell your chat that you wear socks and Crocs. Ever. Never do it.
Like, you repeatedly do this, or
don't ever do it.
One day it slipped out that you were wearing Crocs and socks.
One day the wife walked in and was like, "Hey, Briar,
me.
You forgot your socks and Crocs." And Chad heard it, and now
that was it.
Chat caught wind and then never let you live it
General
down.
advice. I'm not saying this, applies to me or anything.
You seem like a socks and Crocs kind of guy.
No.
Yeah, you do. Actually, you appear to me more of a socks and Birkenstocks kind of guy.
Socks and
no.
Black socks and Birkenstocks with shorts on.
That sounds like a bad single.
Sounds like Dwight. Dwight K. Schrute.
That's it. That's all the questions we got.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think I am? Am I like socks and Birkenstocks? Am I like what? What do you guys think that is? I think
you pretty much rock sneakers, like in all situations.
Okay, that's that. We got one there. I will reveal it.
I don't think your legs have seen the light of day.
I don't think you have feet. I think this is shorts and then that's it.
Shorts and then ankles.
Yes. The ghost transmats the other parts in.
Like, are you talking about when you leave the house, or are you talking about when you're sitting around the house?
I mean, basically all the time, unless I'm forced to do something.
I think you're barefoot most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other things to add?
Yeah, if you're not forced to do anything, you're chilling at home. I would say bare feet.
I'm with Sarah on this. You don't. Whatever is the least amount of effort is what you're doing.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's correct. It's barefoot all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love being bare feet.
Same.
And socks, like I usually don't even put those on when I put.
You got to bend down to pick those up, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, Patrick's just upset he has to wear clothes at all. If Twitch changed the policy,
that's TOS, fam. It's not great.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I kind of, God.
Does your apartment have windows? Because I bet you when this camera turns off,
all those blinds are closed,
you go naked, man. Just like
immediately. Just take it
immediately.
The light from outside. The light from outside does not. Why do you guys think I was so pissed at the start of the podcast before we got on? I had to have 3 people come in to do random shit around the apartment unannounced today. Well, it wasn't announced.
AKA you had to put on clothes. Unbelievable.
Exactly. I had to wake up 3 separate times and put on clothes and then go back to sleep and then get up, put on clothes. Like that is just aggravating. After the 3rd time, I had to actually get up and be a productive
having to put clothes on before you are required to is the worst thing.
It's awful.
Yeah, I agree.
It is awful.
Especially
the doorbell rings and you're still in bed. You gotta like run downstairs.
Especially when you know that motherfucker has a key to get in your apartment too.
So like he's come right in.
It's a ticking time bomb.
Hey, you know what, Patrick? You're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe that's an opportunity.
That could stop them from ever coming in if I just
just walk out of your bedroom
walk out completely stark naked, and they're never coming in here again.
Patrick, can I ask you a serious question?
Sure.
Like, a general percentage here, like 0 to 100%. How many YouTube videos do you make in the nude?
In the nude?
Mm-hmm.
That would be admitting that I've sat in this chair in the nude.
Which I don't think you would have a problem with, to be honest with you. But go ahead.
It's kind of like that fake leathery stuff, so it feels weird. It would feel weird.
It feels weird.
Feel great.
So, if you guys want to hear more about me, I'm at Holtzmann_YT. You can find me on Twitter, where I may be answering your tweets in the nude.
Make sure you check that media tab over there. I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me on Twitter at @TheBriarRabbit. You can find me on YouTube. Just look up Briar Rabbit, or on Twitch, streaming daily. Just look up Briar Rabbit.
I am Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. You can catch my streams, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. Usually start 6 p.m.-ish Pacific time. And I have a YouTube channel as well, Tefty Teft.
And I'm Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube doing stupid things at Miss 5000 Watts.
Miss Daniels?
You can find me at twitch.tv/ImSarahDaniels, streaming in the afternoon, as well as on Twitter at ImSarahDaniels.
And this has been Pope Bear. You can find me sitting on my toilet answering your tweets at Pope Bear.
Doing the floss.
Cleaning up afterwards. Yeah. I also occasionally jump on along with some of these guys, they jump on our Twitter account. So we have a Destiny @DestinyCompod Twitter account. We use it just for business and announcing official things. So make sure to subscribe to it and follow and put on notifications to let you know when cool stuff is happening. You can also, if you're listening to this on iTunes, make sure you put in a rating. Rate it for us. Put in a comment. It really helps us. Next week, we are going to have a great guest that I will bring up momentarily as my computer loads. Oh my God, why isn't it loading? Oh my God, no. Next week, we have Chariana.
Oh, nice.
Woo.
And we have it's really cool actually, because we're getting the expansion.
That's right, yeah.
Yay.
Next week. So when you're listening to this, the 5th, it will be the expansion. And then the 7th, we're going to have Chariana. And then on the 14th, we're going to have Skill Up, who we are interested to hear how his take on the Curse of Osiris has come about. And
we're
then
going to have to be
extra
chilly that week when Skill Up's on.
Oh, yeah.
And the next week after that, I'm excited to announce Neil Kaplan on the voice actor of Gaul is going to be on the 21st.
He has to do the voice the entire time, or I'm leaving.
That's so exciting.
You just came back. You can't leave again.
Oh, don't do it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, Sarah, you can hit the stop recording button.